our Grand Marshal, Robert C. Atkins of Stanton, Virginia.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The engines have fired at historic Martinsville Speedway as the golden anniversary celebration of NASCAR continues in 1998. There have been 26 battles so far in 1998 with 9 different winners. It might seem that Jeff Gordon's 10 victories have given him an inside edge on the championship, but history has proven you can always expect the unexpected. Oh, and Rusty spins! Davey Allison is in the crash. There's the checkered flag for Allen. He's the champion for 92. Still looming large on the horizon are tracks like Talladega and Daytona that can change the face of a championship in the blink of an eye and see a comfortable lead in points dwindle to a fleeting few. Martinsville Speedway, NASCAR's oldest and shortest field of combat, also can't be taken lightly. A long list of casualties have emerged from this harrowing half-mile of pavement and concrete. Jeff and his Rainbow Warriors will need all the talent and racing luck they can muster to survive 500 laps in sweltering heat as they continue their quest for the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup.
Jeff Gordon starts 6th today. Needs to finish his 4th or better in the final 7 events of 1998 to lock up his 3rd Winston Cup championship. Sounds simple? Well, consider this. He still has to go the largest, fastest, and most treacherous track of all, Talladega. And how about today? Has to survive 500 laps on the smallest and tightest oval at Martinsville. Well, what's the difference? Well, one miscue and 1 40th place finish could mean a 150-point swing in the standings. Both Jeff Gordon and his closest pursuers know there may be just 8 battles left to fight, but the war is far from over.
If you're going into battle, you better have a tough warrior. Last week, Mark Martin slayed a monster. Today, he takes on Martinsville, a track he seems to think is tougher than he is. Fat chance of that. He was fastest in happy hour, and he's tougher than a track hot dog. But even if he wins them all, it might not be enough to catch the Rainbow Warrior. This field is mined with explosive talent. For guys like Jarrett, Burton, Wallace, Hamilton, and others, the battle plan is moved through the field with speed and patience. The fighting hasn't even started, and guys like Irvin, Rudd, Andretti, and Musgrave are already ahead. The goal in this game is not to shoot down your opponent or even try to capture them. All you have to do is pass them. All of them. Gentlemen, choose your weapon.
Perhaps the most important weapon here today at the Martinsville Speedway is the front bumper, because if there's a car in front of you holding you up, you got to get up there and give him a little bit of a nudge. And if that doesn't work, then you got to give him an even bigger nudge. And that's where this weapon comes into play, because the teams then have to beat the fenders back into place. Now, you also need a pretty good suit of armor. The most important parts of the armor you don't even see. I'm talking about the brakes and the rear end gears. And if you have a problem with those, not even the biggest hammer in the world is going to help.
Live from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, ESPN Speed World welcomes you to the NAPA AutoCare 500, the 27th race of the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Jeff Gordon enjoys a 194-point advantage as we enter this event. 5 drivers in the top 10 have never won here: Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Jeremy Mayfield, John Andretti, and Terry Labonte. Here's the Walmart EverStart starting lineup. Ernie Irvin has his 3rd pole of 1998, and Ricky Rudd is on the front row for a short track race for the first time since 1993. Jeff Gordon will start 3rd. He has 2 Martinsville wins, and Rich Bickelbenny is the first of several unusual faces we see in about the top 14.
Yeah, the next row is unusual. Wally Dallenbach and Jeff Green, 2 drivers who need a great start. A great race, I should say. Some veterans back in row 4, but I tell you, I think Mark Martin touched on it in NASCAR today, Ned. The temperature of the heat today is going to be a factor before this day is over.
Benny, I've been coming here for a long, long time, and I can't ever remember the temperature being as high. Yesterday it was well into the 90s. It could be that hot today. These cars generate a tremendous amount of heat as we watch the balance of the starting order here. They turn so many RPMs with the engine here, and that generates heat. The brakes generate heat. Just about everything they do generates heat, so it's going to be a torture for the drivers.
And as you see the miles per hour, 92 miles per hour average around this racetrack, there's no real speed here to dissipate that heat that we're talking about.
And the entire qualifiers, 1 through 36, were separated by 0.325 seconds, just a little over a third of a second separating the entire field of qualifiers.
See Earnhardt back in 17th row. He certainly knows how to win. Kevin LePage was a leading rookie here this afternoon, qualifying on Friday. Now we get to the provisionals. Steve Park, another rookie. And row 20 is 2 rookies, Nadeau and Irwin.
And the 43rd starting position goes to Dave Marcus.
Onboard cameras this afternoon. Kenny Irwin, our Circuit City onboard camera. Steve Park also NAPA onboard camera. Kenny Wallace has the Square D onboard camera this afternoon as we look out the rear bumper. Bobby Labonte is carrying the Food Lion onboard camera. Bill Elliott this afternoon, the McDonald's onboard camera. Rusty Wallace will be taking along. We'll ride with Rusty today, the Miller Lite. Mark Martin, as he tries to catch Jeff Gordon for the championship, will be riding along with him in the Valvoline onboard. And dialing back the Budweiser onboard camera starting back in 5th row. John Kernan.
Michael Waltrip has pulled off the backstretch and he's headed back out on the racetrack trying to catch the tail end of the field. Already before the race has even started, we've had contact out there as the 21 car, Michael Waltrip, ran into the back of the 96 car, Mike Bliss, and Waltrip has some pretty significant damage to the front end of the car. The Wood Brothers crew has done what they could to try and pry it away to try and straighten that nose back up, but it's been up pretty much, and I think it increased the ground clearance on that front air dam, so that will definitely affect the handling.
And so it goes at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon holds a track record here. It was set 2 years ago. They expect pit stops between laps 135 and 155 with no cautions, and the purse exceeds $1.6 million. And there is where Michael Waltrip hit Mike Bliss, who is making his inaugural NASCAR Winston Cup start.
And that's not really a problem, though, because Michael Waltrip is the guy that came out the worst in this situation because air going through the grill, number 1, cools the engine, and number 2, cools the brakes, and that is crucial. If he's been any of the ductwork that cools the brakes, he will not be long this afternoon.
And you can see that was a pretty good lift to dent the back of the cat car in as much as it did.
In the last 13 races, Jeff Gordon has 13 top 5s and 7 wins. But look at this. Mark Martin has lost 187 points, but all but 55 of those were lost with his 40th place finish at Darlington. What does all that prove? Again, if somebody has one bad race in the next 7, their position in the point standings could be in jeopardy. We invite you to stay with us all afternoon here on ESPN, because if there's anything that happens significantly in the baseball world, with McGuire and Sosa going for the home run record and, of course, the possibility of a play-in game tomorrow, you'll stay tuned and have all the information for you right here on the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN.
Ready, green, green, green.
Maybe Jeff Gordon would follow Ernie Irvin through to second place here in the opening laps, but indeed the outside front row starter Ricky Rudd has positioned himself right behind Ernie Irvin and challenges Ernie for the lead, as a matter of fact.
Both of those drivers are very smooth, and that's what it takes here at the Martinsville Speedway, to be smooth on those brakes and smooth on the gas coming off of the corners.
Rich Bickle running along in 4th place. Now we've got a jam back here. Is Jeff Burton trying to follow Dennis Setzer. Dennis Setzer, the 13-car driver, had a lot of success yesterday on the outside in that truck. He's trying it again today.
One thing that he learned, Benny, is in the early part of the race, the first few laps, everybody's trying to get
we have a problem down in turn 2, Ned. Sorry to interrupt, but Darrell Waltrip is going the wrong direction.
And caution is out. Darrell needs to hurry or he'll go a lap down if he can possibly see the caution. There, he gets it turned around the other way. takes off, so he will stay in the lead lap.
So the first caution coming out at the conclusion of lap number 4 on lap 5. Here's what happened over in turn number 2.
We see Earnhardt go down in the corner in the 3 car, and the left front, he slides that left front.
Derek Cope runs into Earnhardt there a little bit, comes down on the inside, and Darrell, of course, was already spun out up in front of him there, and that's what they were trying to avoid.
From another angle, you can see the contact between LePage and Dale Earnhardt.
And Jimmy Spencer back there in the back of Kevin LePage's 16 car.
So that is the situation, and it will be all afternoon. Bumping and grinding and slipping and sliding at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. We'll be right back.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. All the coal cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Power you can count on when you need it most. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
Rather go to a real race? During the NAPA 500 Great Start Sweepstakes, you could win one of 8 trips to Daytona Speed Weekend, or the grand prize, a trip to Daytona, $10,000 cash, and be the honorary starter of the NAPA Auto Parts 300. So come into any NAPA Auto Parts store for details. NAPA Power Battery, $32.99 after rebate.
How's the car, Dale? A little tight off. 0 cars moving up. Let them on the inside.
Inside every member of Team Monte Carlo, there's a side that's kind of wild.
Get another turn.
Team Monte Carlo.
Animal.
Pardon me. This year, they're hungrier than ever.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, right? You don't, do you? You push it. Now you're so busy you try to squeeze another 1,000 miles out of your oil. Or more. Well, squeeze this. To do it yourself when you have the time. Reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Anybody say insurance? It's been tested. And unlike that lazy uncle nobody really likes to talk about, it works. So go get some. Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
ESPN Speed World coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500 from Martinsville is being brought to you by NAPA AutoCare. At NAPA, we keep America running. By Team Monte Carlo Chevy, the cars more champions trust. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. And by Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. The green flag has just come out here at Martinsville, but we've had a couple of people in the pits. Bobby Hamilton was, and Rusty Wallace still is, Bill.
It's a radiator problem for Rusty Wallace. No water in the radiator. They don't know if they have a leak or if it's in a hose, but there's no water in the radiator. They're going to try and swap that out, losing valuable laps. Bobby Hamilton had a plug wire come off. He had a miss in the engine. They're hoping tightening up the plug wire will help them.
Hamilton, of course, the most recent winner here at Martinsville, having won the spring event. Up front, it's much the same as Irvin tries to fend off the challenge of Ricky Rudd and Jeff Gordon there in third.
And Ned and I talked about just how much heat the drivers are going to have to go through this afternoon. Ernie Irvin is the only driver here right now that really and truly is cool. He's probably 10 or 15 degrees cooler than any other driver, because as you run behind these other cars, as Ricky Rudd says, I want to get front. I want to be in that cool air. Not able to do it. But Ricky Rudd, his car inside is probably 10 degrees warmer than Ernie Irvin's, simply because he's behind Ernie, getting the heat off his car in the grill in his car.
This is the 4th race that Ernie Irvin has led in 1998, most recently at the 2nd Michigan race,
where he was on the pole.
There's John Andretti back there in 6th position behind Jeff Green.
And he tries to get a fender alongside him going into turn 3, and he'll make the pass. Jeff just didn't fight him too much. He backed off and made a little contact there.
50-car Wally Dallenbach just behind Dale Jarrett. Wally with an outstanding qualifying effort.
Dale Jarrett qualified 10th, has moved up to 7th, so his car going the right direction.
Well, he and John Andretti stayed up on the outside there the first couple of laps and were able to pick off some positions. And before we had that problem, I started to explain. We talked about Dennis Setzer learned yesterday that he could go up on the outside. And one thing that happens in the early part of the race is that everybody's trying to get to the inside, and there's only so much space down there, so the drivers can, here's we've changed for the lead, it looks like, and Ricky Rudd going for it.
Rudd to the inside of Urban is going to take the lead, and Jeff Gordon is going to try to get into second position. And this is the fourth race that Ricky Rudd has led in 1998. Can Gordon position himself off the corner to get second spot from Ernie Irvan?
Ernie gave him room just enough. Just enough.
And he slides out a little bit. Ooh, and they bump. And Irvin's going to lose a couple more positions.
Well, I tell you what, that's something that Jeff Gordon certainly doesn't need now, because a bump like that can get the toe in messed up, toe in, toe out messed up, can bend some suspension parts.
So Ernie Irvan drops all the way back to fifth position. It's Gordon, Rich Bickle, and John Andretti behind Ricky Rudd. Now here's Bickle trying to get to the inside of Jeff Gordon for second as we watch overhead from the Pennzoil copter cam.
And then you wonder, maybe if he did, maybe knock that toe in out a little bit. He had that position, not able to keep it now. He's going to lose several positions here.
That's what it looks to me like, Ned, that he has bent to steer the suspension on that 24 car.
Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace remains in the pits, and he has lost 10 laps so far and counting. They continue to work.
Boy, and he thought, and a lot of people thought, this might be his best shot to win because he runs so well on this racetrack, and now Rusty, his chances have gone down the drain to win this race.
And Jeff Gordon is hung on the outside and continues to lose positions.
Yeah, the outside is not the place to be right now. We talked about maybe in the first few laps is okay, but once they've run several laps, got those tires heated up a little bit, it's not the place to be.
I don't know that Jeff Gordon's car, if he were to get to the bottom of the racetrack, could run with these other cars. Interesting to see what happens when he gets to a gap. Maybe the 50 car, being a teammate, will let him in. We'll see. Maybe not.
Yeah, he is. So that's 7th and 8th. Gordon back to 7th, and Wally Dallenbach in 8th. Jerry Punch.
Well, a moment ago, a very frustrated Ray Everdam jumped off the pit box. Now, Jeff hasn't said anything on the radio, but Ray, looking at the cars that came by, gave me the signal with two palms pointed outward, indicating it may be towed out. And if that's the case, as you guys speculated, that car would not run very, very well. We get a battle heating up for second spot.
Yeah, Rich Bickle and John Andretti in a good battle for second position, as Rudd now has separated himself by a little over a second and a half from Rich. Sterling Marlin trying to pick up a position from Wally Dallenbach. Here comes Ted Musgrave, who's running the 77 car this week.
Well, once somebody gets a nose under you, gets up on that outside, you're meat for everybody else because they come after you too. See Jeff Burton now, he's going to try to make the pass while they have Wally on the outside. Comes Todd Bodine in the car number 91. Had a great qualifying effort, Todd did, in that unsponsored car. Now Rusty leaves the pits, but he's about 17 laps down.
A costly pit stop for Rusty Wallace. So that battle back there has settled down just a little bit. We'll show you what's going on up front. It is Ricky Rudd. The last time he led here was back in 1991. And he, of course, is trying to extend his consecutive year winning streak to 16. In 1998. 26 laps have been completed here at Martinsville. They're the top 10. Rudd leading Bickle, Andretti, Irvan, and Jarrett. We'll be right back.
NASCAR Winston Cup Illustrated takes you where no other racing magazine can. Inside the lives of the most interesting personalities and stars of NASCAR. You'll see what they do at the track and how they live away from it. Each issue includes revealing interviews and in-depth profiles, plus page after page of dazzling color photography. Call 800-927-2363 to subscribe. You'll get an entire year of NASCAR Winston Cup Illustrated for just $43. Call 800-927-2363 now.
The 36-page Grand Prix Tours brochure features special VIP tours to all the finest Winston Cup races. The Brickyard, Charlotte, Phoenix, Talladega, the Daytona 500, and more. The best seats, the most convenient hotels. Grand Prix Tours takes care of all the details. Just show up and have the time of your life. Call 888-RACES-98 now for the free brochure. You can't get any closer to the action. Only Grand Prix Tours takes you inside Winston Cup racing.
And the Baltimore fans will be loud. It's the Bengals against the Ravens in an ESPN Sunday Night Football battle.
3 things I know about the helmet tent. Number 1, it was gimmicky. Number 2, it never worked. And number 3, you're an idiot. Now who's playing hard?
You know, I don't appreciate being called an idiot. Just because you fear technology, that's not my fault. I've been called a lot of things at this table, but an idiot will not be one of them.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Bengals against the Ravens.
I'll be afraid to wear that helmet, Cam. The radio waves might mess up my mind.
It's time to enter NASCAR's Fan Fantasy Weekend Sweepstakes for your chance to play a special part in the NAPA 500 in November. Just call 1-900-26-FANS-WIN by October 1st. Correctly answer 4 NASCAR trivia questions and you're entered for the drawing. Each call costs $1.99 and subject to official rules. 21 or older, please. No purchase or paper call necessary. Just print the answers, your name, address, phone number, and age on a postcard and send to this address. Or enter through NASCAR online. 10 winners will be selected at random on October 6th.
Tonight at 7:30, Chris Berman and Tom Jackson have all the highlights of all the day's NFL games on prime time. And that brings you right up to ESPN Sunday Night Football, which tonight at 8:15 features the Cincinnati Bengals and Corey Dillon against Jermaine Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens in an AFC Central showdown. Then on ABC's Monday Night Football, Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions defend their home turf in an NFC Central battle with Warren Dunn and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8 o'clock Eastern. ABC and ESPN, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. Ricky Rudd still about a 1.5 lead on Rich Bickle. You can see the 71 car of Dave Marcus has been lapped.
Dave is in 41st position. There are 2 other cars behind him as far as the rundown's concerned. That's Rusty Wallace, who spent 17 laps in the pits, and Dick Trickle, who has been in the pits now for 9 laps. 9 laps.
And he continues to sit back there on pit road. John Kernan can tell us the problem with Dick.
Trickle pulled in because he was out of brakes. He hit the brake pedal and went all the way to the floor. What the team has found now, they've got a pretty significant leak in the right front. So apparently they're going to have to change the entire right front hub assembly with a new caliper rotor and everything because it cannot fix the problem right now. Let's go to Bill Weber on the front stretch.
Rusty Wallace has significant damage to the front of his Miller Lite Ford, and when he got that damage, he damaged his radiator. He punched it in right here. The radiator leaked all the water out of it. That's why he came to pit road. He'd asked his pit crew to look at the car on the left side, see if there was any damage. Mark Armstrong saw the water leaking from the car. They brought Rusty in. They changed the radiator. They sent him back out with a 6-time winner here. It's 17 laps down.
Starting off at quite a deficit in this race, which has just begun. We're 37 out of 500 laps into it.
See, somebody's been in the back of Kevin LePage's car. Ricky Rudd now about to put Derek Cope a lap down. Derek in the Gumout Pontiac.
He just put Jimmy Spencer a lap down. Spencer is in 40th position.
Right, now that's the traffic that Ricky Rudd is coming on.
And John Andretti taking over second place from Rich Bickle. He'd been stalking him for about 8 or 10 laps, and now Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett have caught up to that twosome. So you see right there, 2nd through 5th.
A great run for Rich Bickle of Thorn Apple Valley Ford. Earnhardt obviously had some damage, some contact with someone. Look at the rear bumper almost to come off. John, turn one out to Earnhardt.
During that caution where Darrell Walter got spun around, someone ran into the back of Dale Earnhardt. That's not really the problem. The car just isn't handling the way he wants it. I talked to Kevin Hamlin before the start of the race. He said, man, it's a record for things that we have changed. He said they changed 18 different things on that car this morning. He says, I'm not sure if we changed enough to make a difference.
One of the last to emerge from what amounts to a garage area here to enter the inspection line before the race began, and obviously Dale is having problems still in 34th position. Now Rudd is in heavy traffic as ahead. Oh, they hit there momentarily.
Cope bounced off the outside retaining wall when Darrell Walter came up beside of him, as he is right now. And now we're going to drive 3 abreast.
It's something you don't see very often at Martinsville. Darrell Walter goes a lap down.
And Derek Cope is fighting. Looks like he's just absolutely fighting for his life. Here comes Andretti trying to get by Spencer.
Boy, he is ready to cut down the distance on Ricky Rudd as a result of Rudd getting in to that lap traffic.
Andretti was about to get into the back bumper of Jimmy Spencer there a moment ago.
Dale Jarrett has been trying to get around Ernie Irvin for the last few laps. Now trying it on the outside. This is for the 4th position.
Ernie gave him room off the corner now. He gives him racing room here.
Our NAPA field summary shows you that the manufacturers battle as Chevrolet leading by a scant 3 points over Ford. There's the summary of the Fords. And here is Sterling Marlin taking a position from Jeff Gordon. That moves Sterling up to 6th and drops Jeff back to 7th. And now Burton is hot on Gordon's heels.
Yeah, he has come from where did he start? 19th position?
Started in 16th spot. Has moved up to 8th.
There is the story on Jeff Gordon, who has been going the wrong way here since the start of the race and since a bit of contact in the early laps. Traffic and has not yet put Derek Cope a lap down.
Yeah, Bob, he's going to be in heavy traffic for a while, too, because the cars are scattered out all the way around the racetrack. So once you catch the tail end of the field, you're going to be in. Of course, there's a little bit of space right in front of Michael Waltrip as he does finally clear Derek Cope. Michael Waltrip, with that damage that we talked about earlier, made a pit stop on the pace lap. He is running in the 37th position.
Schrader, Todd Bodine, and Brett Bodine are involved in a pretty good battle here. That's back in 12th, 13th, and 14th.
There we see 15th Elliott, 16th Mark Martin. And Mark told us on NASCAR Today that's how he's going to run this race today. He's just going to sit there and he's going to ride. He's going to try to find out how his car is doing. He's not going to really try to run to the front. He wants to be there at the end, and then if he has anything left, he'll make adjustments and he'll try to win the race.
His main objective was to stay on the lead lap and, like you say, try to stay out of trouble.
Mark Martin won the spring race in 1992. As we're on board now with Bill Elliott, looking up ahead to the Bodines and Schrader.
Schrader in the green, number 33. Todd Bodine in the blue, number 91. Ooh, and leaning on him just a little bit there. And here comes Brett trying to pass his younger brother, Todd. Brett in the white number 11 Paychex car. He makes the pass.
And Todd Bodine finally gets back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Let me try that bottom groove for a second.
Ricky Rudd finally got around the Derek Cope car and also Michael Waltrip, and so 36 cars remain on the lead lap as Ricky Rudd has about a 3/4 of a second lead on John Andretti. We'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment from Martinsville in Virginia.
Let's go back to the situation of Prohibition. Prohibition was an extremely difficult period for the Bush family. That period almost broke the company. Grandfather had a couple of choices. So he went into the East business, he went into the soft drink business, He went into the making of carriages. He went into the making of cabinets. When Prohibition finally came to an end, my father wanted to do something for his father. He did so by presenting him with an 8-horse hitch, the Clydesdales. The Clydesdales were taken down Pennsylvania Avenue, where the first case of beer was delivered to then-President Roosevelt. The Clydesdales today are a symbol of that quality, of that tradition, of that excellence that is the hallmark of Budweiser, that is the hallmark of Anheuser-Busch.
Hey, Mr. Science, ever wonder what a hard-working engine goes through? It gets the high rev, and I drove over the mountain because it was their guts kicked out of it. With abuse like that, you don't want to take chances. This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines made by guys with more college degrees than they've had dates. It's been tested. For pure maximum protection, there's nothing better. I wouldn't lie to you. They're not paying me enough. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
Who's that, Grandma?
That would have been your great-uncle Floyd. About 65 years ago, he was playing hide-and-seek with his friends. And they never found him.
If you're gonna play to win,
Nobody found me.
play to win. If you're gonna have roast beef, have roast beef. Hardee's tender roast beef, specially seasoned, oven roasted, fresh sliced to order.
You're gonna go? Go all out.
Could be the hottest fall race in history here at Martinsville, Virginia. We welcome you to our live ESPN coverage. The leader is the car that is orange and white and yellow. That's Ricky Rudd, the Tide, ride out front. But here comes John Andretti in hot pursuit as he's about to lap the 75 car of Rick Mast, who's in 35th.
Andretti's car seems to really get some bite off the corners here, and that's what you need, is get good traction coming off the corners.
Third place is Bickle, then comes Jarrett, then comes Marlin, then Irvin. In 7th position is Jeff Gordon. Jerry, what are they going to do when they get an opportunity to work on this car?
Well, Bob, they're not sure what the problem is, but they're going to be ready. On this table back behind the pits, they've got the tie rods laid out to replace the left and right side tie rods and other suspension parts. They want to be ready because they know that Gordon right now is having trouble battling with the car in the corners. They have also, by the way, gone to the NASCAR official and asked if they can pull the front fender out. They were told they can pull it out even with the outside of the tire, and that is all.
Not this story again, huh? Remember at Dover last week, he was black flagged for tugging on that front bumper. Now here is a battle for the lead as John Andretti pulls alongside Rudd, races him down the backstretch into turn 3, and Andretti has the lead.
And he has a friendly competitor there, Kyle Petty, that just opened the inside up, let him go right on by. Kyle has dropped back to the 34th position.
John becomes our 3rd leader of the afternoon. Rudd led 49, make that 50 laps. John Andretti is also leading his 4th race of 98. He led last week at Dover. Well, here's a gaggle of cars, huh?
See Bill Elliott trying to get by the 91 car of Todd Bodine. Mark Martin was able to get by Bill Elliott during the commercial break and kind of drive away from him. Now, Elliott almost clears Todd Bodine. He does clear.
Now, this group of cars are about 2/3 of a lap behind John Andretti.
Kenny Whoa, we see some smoke off the tire where he made contact. Walter Tabasco, hot zone as we get inside, and we see Kenny Wallace get up to about 110 miles per hour. Down to about 60 in the corner, wasn't it, Bob?
Yeah, about 63.
Accelerates up to 8,800 RPMs. Todd is really having trouble keeping this car on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got to use that brake to keep that car on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh.
Bickle and Jarrett, 88 and 98 for 4th place. Boy, Dale's been trying to get that spot for many, many laps.
Yeah, Sterling Marlin came up to both of them and passed them, and now Jeff Gordon has caught up to them. And Sterling got around the 98 car a little bit easier than Jarrett is.
But DJ's car is getting a little bit loose here about 70 laps into the run.
And once again, the leader is working some heavy traffic. Look at the mess of cars he has to go through, including the next one that, well, the car that he is trying to lap right now is Dale Earnhardt.
Jeremy Mayfield, Jerry Nadeau. Oh, and we see some contact between Earnhardt and the 43 car, the leader, as they lock wheels coming off turn 4. And looks like Earnhardt was going to dive into the inside retaining wall, but fortunately they were able to get unhooked.
Dale is trying desperately to stay on the lead lap.
But not going to be able to do it unless he can pull back up the inside as they try to, other cars up there that Andretti trying to lap.
Jeremy Mayfield will be the next to be lapped.
It looks like turn 4 is really slick, because that's not unusual. That turn is usually slick coming off of there.
Let's replay this incident between the 43 and the 3 moments ago.
Ever see the 43 on the outside, the 3 on the inside, and just make some contact and bam. Those tires, when those front tires touch each other, all of a sudden that driver loses control of the steering wheel. The car goes where he wants to go.
Now Jerry Nadeau has gone a lap down. That's the, what do you call that, lime-colored car? The number 9.
Here's Mike Skinner running with Jeff Bodine.
Now they're about a full turn in front. They're coming off turn 4 as John Andretti is going into turn 3. And this group is running 24th, 25th, 26th.
Run along with Steve Park as he tries to get by Jeff Bodine. We'll check his RPM and speed, about 109 miles per hour. The racing with that car obviously is going to slow him down some. They drove the car in really hard trying to clear himself of Bodine. Was able to do that. Here comes Terry Labonte. These cars are running back to 23rd, 24th, 25th. The leader not that far behind them.
There's Bobby Hamilton, who is in 26th position. Remember, he made an early pit stop.
He made a series of pit stops. He said he had a plug wire come off. Here's Mark Martin and Ted Musgrave racing side by side. Musgrave in the 77 car this week.
Martin Schrader. Yep. Martin moves up to 12.
Wally Dolan back. A Budweiser car in 11th spot, right on board with him. He goes by Michael Waltrip on the outside.
Jeremy Mayfield coming into the pits on the backstretch. A little bit earlier than we thought they'd be in here at lap 78.
Well, he was just lapped not too long ago, so apparently he feels that it's time for some new rubber. Here's John Kernan as Jeremy makes the pit stop.
After going down a lap, they decided to bring the car in because Jeremy's car is very, very loose. A track bar adjustment along with a wedge adjustment on the left rear. The left side now going on as they add a little more wedge as he was down and away. They're already several laps down.
Now Jeff Gordon is beginning to make a bit of a comeback. He moves to 5th place, having passed Dale Jarrett. Right up ahead of him is Rich Bickle, who is running in 4th. Kyle Petty, you can see there, is also a lap down to the leaders. He's running in 35th position. So there's Gordon in 5th, and there is the leader, John Andretti, who so far has been out front for 17 laps. 80 have been completed here in the NAPA AutoCare 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia.
Rather go to a real race? During the NAPA 500 Great Start Sweepstakes, you could win one of 8 trips to Daytona Speed Weekend or the grand prize, a trip to Daytona, $10,000 cash, and be the honorary starter of the NAPA Auto Parts 300. So come into any NAPA Auto Parts store for details. NAPA halogen lamps, as low as $4.99.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art.
So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
This is no ordinary leather jacket.
Because when you put it on, you're not just saying you're a NASCAR fan, you're saying you care about kids.
Buy any Exide NASCAR Select battery in 1998 and get the special 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket for just $150.
And on behalf of NASCAR fans everywhere, Exide will donate all profits to Give Kids the World Foundation.
The special edition 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Nice jacket.
Friday night of the fights are back. This week, our main event will feature Andrew Galata against Tim Witherspoon. Muhammad Ali will be featured in our classic segments. Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman host ESPN2 Friday Night Fights, and it all debuts this Friday. Speaking of slugfest, we have one going here at Martinsville as 87 of the 500 laps have been completed. We're watching the activity from overhead in the Pennzoil copter cam, providing the shots for us. The leader of the race is John Andretti in the 43 car, and running second right now is Ricky Rudd. Car of Ernie Irvin was the pole sitter of this race. However, he has slipped back to 7th position. Doc, what's going on?
Bob, the 36 car is loose getting off the corner. Now, Ernie Irvin says now the track is getting really, really hot and the tires are getting slippery and greasy. They are going to make an adjustment in the car. Now, every one of these cars, most of them have 2 ignition boxes. When Ernie began the race today, he was on the front box, which had a 9,250 chip in it, meaning he could turn 9,250 RPM. That was on sticker tires when the track was nice and cool. Once it gets hot and greasy like it is right now, he's switched now to the other box, which has a 9,100 chip in it, and also has retarded timing from 34 to 32 degrees. The car will not have as much torque off the corner and won't slip as much. Maybe that'll help Ernie stay in this position until they get a pit stop. And I understand leaders are in heavy, heavy traffic.
And we got cars hitting the wall and hitting each other, and it's quite a sight.
Trying to stay on that lead lap, and now John Andretti has nowhere to go as Kenny Irwin and Terry Labonte run side by side for the 23rd and 24th position.
Check out Sterling Marlin, that Coors Light car in 3rd place. Is just 1 second behind the leader now.
He has come from over 5 seconds down to catch them. Part of that was as a result of being in traffic, but Sterling has come through a lot of traffic himself, too. He has a good race car.
Kenny Irwin has gone a lap down. Terry Labonte so far has fought successfully to stay on the lead lap.
A moment ago, Jerry Butcher tells us about Ernie Irvin. Check this out as we see John Andretti come off the corner. Kenny Irwin gets a little bit loose, goes up, hits the 91 car, Todd Bodine. He slaps the wall. And Terry Labonte says, let me get down on the inside here. And he's still able to stay in front of the leader. Folks, you wonder what, we keep talking about brakes this racetrack, and you wonder why? Check the rotor on Kenny Irwin's car. He's going down the straightaway now, see how the tire, and as he touches that brake rotor, it turns just cherry red. That's the rotor there that Ned has circled. And that is probably 900 degrees, 1,000 degrees. And he gets the fluid hot, and you can see the rotor really and truly never cools off. Yeah. It stays red almost all the way down the straightaway.
It's even blowing down the straightaways. let's see, 14th, 15th, and 16th, we got Bill Elliott, Ken Schrader, and Bobby Labonte.
They're running about 16.5 seconds behind the leader. The leader's turning this track in a little over 22 seconds.
This is the McDonald's onboard camera as we look back at Bobby and Kenny.
That's the best way to see a battle like that, out of your rearview mirror.
The guy on the move right now.
So we see the leader, John Andretti, the STP Pontiac, as he still tries to get by Labonte. Jimmy Spencer gets a little loose off the corner. And check it out. Now Sterling Marlin has passed Ricky Rudd. He is in second spot in the Coors Light Chevy.
And look how that thing hugs to that inside, gets traction coming off of the corner. Boy, you just can't beat that here at Martinsville, especially after they've run as many laps as they have now. Those tires really heated up, the track getting a little bit slick, and he's getting that traction and is going towards the front.
Sterling Marlin has finished second here on 2 different occasions, most recently in spring race of '92. This is his 26th race here at Martinsville. His best '98 finish was 7th place at Sears Point and also at Watkins Glen. So the road courses were good this year to Sterling Marlin. So he now moves to the inside of Kenny Irwin.
Talking about those brakes a little bit ago, they're having to use more brakes now than they were earlier in the race because of the tires being slicker. You have to get it wound down when you get into the corner to keep from spinning it out.
John Andretti continues to lead here at Martinsville by about 1 3/4 seconds over Sterling Marlin. John Andretti led 59 laps here in April, and until he led last Sunday in Dover, this is where he led last. Look at the crowd. More than 83,000 people are gathered around this paper clip-shaped half-mile racetrack in Southern Virginia, Martinsville Speedway. We're glad you could join us on this very hot Sunday afternoon here in Martinsville for our coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500.
Years of the greatest cars, the greatest tracks, and stock car racing's greatest heroes. Petty, Pearson, Yarborough, Earnhardt, Gordon. This is NASCAR. Now you can own NASCAR the 50 from ESPN Video. All the history, highlights, and horsepower of America's greatest sport in one incredible home video collection. This special box set features over 5 hours of NASCAR's golden memories and insider interviews available only through this 50th anniversary offer. If you're a real racing fan, NASCAR the 50 is a must for your home video library. Order this deluxe 5-tape collection now and save almost $15. Call 1-800-717-ESPN and order NASCAR the 50 for just 3 easy payments of $19.99. An opportunity this special only comes along once every 50 years. Call 1-800-717-3776 now and own a piece of NASCAR racing history.
Introducing ESPN2 Friday Night Fights, showcasing today's best boxing talent along with classic bouts of the past. This week, Tim Witherspoon takes on Andrew Galata. Plus, a look back at Muhammad Ali the early years. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 8 on ESPN2.
A magazine's success starts with the writers. What's on Barry Sanders' mind? Get me inside the head of the greatest running back ever. Is this Yankee team the best of all time? And what's the scoop on Chief Sackman Derek Thomas? Printed, baby!
Pit stops are occurring here because we're under caution. We're cautioned because John Andretti crashed, the leader of the race. Let's concentrate right now on this series of pit stops.
And everybody was ready to come into the pits, Bob.
Here comes our leader, Sterling Marlin, off pit road. He will be the first. Jeff Gordon will come off second. Ricky Rudd third. DJ fourth. We see Jeff Burt moving in the back. He and Mark Martin. But meanwhile, Ernie Irving gets moving. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is the tire changer. I thought someone had ran over Kenny Irwin's tire changer. Jason Shapiro changing that front tire. Now around to the left side. Wheel goes off. Wheel goes on. Pick up the wrench. Tighten them up. Let her down. Let's go.
And away he goes, down to Bill Weber, the 43 pit.
John Andretti's second visit to pit road. He hit the wall. All he told his crew was something broke. He came in early, got right side tires. He's come back in. He's got left side tires now. They're pulling sheet metal away from the right front of the car. A heartbreak for this team. Remember, he ran out of gas 4 laps from the finish last time we were here. Today he was leading. He brushes the wall, and Andretti's chances crippled here at Martinsville.
Let's take a look at what happened while we were away in commercial break to John Andretti.
Comes off turn 4 as he exits the corner. And all of a sudden, the car just goes straight in. It's like the right front tire went flat on the car, Nick.
And we were talking about that heat that builds up as far as the brakes are concerned, and we have seen the heat get so hot there on that right front tire that it'll melt the bead of the tire.
The inside of the tire, that's correct.
The 31 car is back in, John Kernan.
What happened on the pit stop? They were in such a hurry to get off of pit road. The jack came down early, and Mike Skinner took off before the lug nuts were tightened on the left front. The wheel came off of the car. He had to limp his way back around on just 3 wheels, and it looks like the sway bar might be broken as they have come back in and changed the left front tire, put the lugs on tight, but we would expect Mike Skinner maybe to be back here on pit road the next time by.
You saw the tire. It came to rest up on the high side of the racetrack in turn 4. NASCAR officials going to retrieve it. John Andretti, meanwhile, is back in the pits. There is the tire that came off of it after he hit the wall coming out of corner number 4 just a few moments ago, giving up the lead. Back with more in just a moment.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, right? You don't, do you? You push it. Now you're so busy you try to squeeze another 1,000 miles out of your oil. Or more. Well, squeeze this. To do it yourself when you have the time. Reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Anybody say insurance? It's been tested. And unlike that lazy uncle nobody really likes to talk about, it works. So go get some. Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
People ask me all the time, how do you decide which anchors work together? And to be honest, it's an awkward process.
Dear Larry, want to do the sports together? If yes, check this box. Charlie?
Ultimately, you're looking for a good relationship.
If you're not doing anything later tonight, would you want to do a show with me?
Whoever said all's fair in love and war was probably a broadcaster.
We'll be back with more Sports Center in just a moment. I don't even know who you are anymore.
ESPN Speed World back at Martinsville, Virginia. We are 115 laps into this race, and we are under caution, although about to go back to green. More than 83,000 people have come here to see the NAPA AutoCare 500. Jerry Punch.
Updates and pit stops here at the far end of pit road. First, Jeff Gordon. They came in and changed 4 tires, made an air pressure adjustment. Did not really get a chance to look at the toe end, in or out. They don't think it can't be very bad because the car was running awfully well. Ricky Rudd in the 10 car. His car is good, but his helmet's quit working. And now he is calling for a relief driver in the 10 car. The 36 car, 1 pound of air pressure changed across the rear tire. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, for Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin, they both had 4 tire stops. Mark Martin is a little bit tight, so they took a round of fight out and made an air pressure adjustment. Also an air pressure adjustment, 1 round for Dale Jarrett. Green flag is out.
Sterling Marlin the leader, Jeff Gordon second, Rudd is third, then Jarrett and Irvin, followed by Dollenbach as they all go down into turn 1.
See DJ driving up on the outside of Ricky Rudd, trying to take over that 3rd spot. And man, if Ricky Rudd is hot now, 118 laps into the race, hardly any way he can finish the race.
Boy, you can't imagine that he could, because it's only going to get worse.
Temperature expected near 90 or perhaps a couple of degrees over that here at Martinsville this afternoon. Sterling Marlin continues to lead. He has now led 16 laps. So far, Rudd has led the most.
Now Rudd trying to make a move on Jeff Gordon down on the inside, taking over second.
And they race down the backstretch, wheel to wheel.
You say, well, why wouldn't Jeff Gordon and Ray Evernham, why wouldn't those guys take a look at the toe end and try to fix that problem? Because they simply would have to give up too much track position to do that. They'd have to go too far back. So they decided to use the track position. Look at the bar that's laying on the... That will certainly bring on a caution flag here. It's down between 1 and 2 as we see DJ and Jeff Gordon make a little contact. Now that bar is a long ways out of the groove down between 1 and 2, so should be out of harm's way. Jerry Punch, what's up with Ricky Rudd?
Let's explain what's going on inside the 10 car. Ricky tried a new helmet today. And early in the race, the cooling unit in the helmet, the fan and cooling unit has frozen up. And it's a sealed system, so he can't get any air inside the helmet. He is basically inside that helmet suffocating. He says the heat is almost unbearable. He told Bill Engel, if you can find the driver, find someone. I've got to get out of this helmet. I can't breathe.
Can you imagine that on a day as hot as it is here today? Since his win at the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis in 1997, it's been a tough road for Ricky Rudd. Only 1 top 5 so far in 1998. His best finish was a 6th at Dover. You can see the laps led coming into this event were 58. He has almost equaled that today, having led 49 laps so far.
And he's mowing down that lead that Sterling Marlin built up on those few laps. Ricky gaining just a little bit each lap on him. He wants to get back in the lead.
There's Rich Bickle in the 98, Jeff Burton in the 99, and Kenny Irvin in the 28. Mark Martin behind them.
Kenny Irvin in the 28 is a lap down.
They continue to work on John Andretti's car, by the way, on pit road.
Mark Martin is currently running in 10th spot.
We got traffic jams all over the racetrack. Here's another one.
Yes, we do. There's Kenny Wallace trying to make his way forward as he tries to get on the inside of Ted Musgrave. That's Musgrave in the 77.
Those new tires, they can be a little bit more racy now. Drive that thing on down into the corner.
John has an update on Kenny.
Right before the green flag came out, Kenny Wallace told his crew, we've got a pretty good car. I've managed to stay on the lead lap. They're pitting here on the backstretch. On the last pit stop, they took on 4 tires around the wedge and made an air pressure adjustment to try and tighten that car up. So far, we're waiting to hear from Kenny if that did the trick. But he's too busy racing out there, so he hasn't said much to his team.
Running back at 14th position right now. There's a 9 of Jerry Nadeau.
The Cartoon Network car. That car looks like a cartoon, doesn't it?
It does. Jerry's a lap down in 30th spot. On board with Bobby Labonte, who's in 16th position.
And Terry Labonte is in front of him. He is in 15th. He is on the lead lap. With John Andretti, some camera's got to be leaking some water. We see some on the lens of the camera. John Andretti, I think, had lapped Terry Labonte, or was trying to, but even if he had, when Andretti had his problems, Sterling Marlin had not passed Terry Labonte, so therefore he was able to stay on the lead lap.
Now there are 23 cars on the lead lap.
And the pace of the race just under 91 miles an hour by the leader, Sterling Marlin, who enjoys a lead of just a little over 1 second. 126 at 500 laps completed.
I believe I can call. I think I'll use the phone in the hall.
I call my friends just to say hi.
With 5 cents Sundays from MCI.
My Space Jam buddies and I stay in close touch with MCI's 5 cent Sundays.
Just 5 cents a minute. Every minute. Every Sunday.
Along with low rates all week long. Call 1-800-Sundays to become an MCI customer.
I believe I can call.
That's Ursus Arctos man, grizzly bear, about 1,200 pounds. Try and act confident. Show your teeth and snarl. It should trigger his flight instinct. If that doesn't work, walk directly up to the bear and box him on his ear.
Are you a forest ranger?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Alfred, come here. Run across the street. Check out what's going on over at Pizza Hut. Becky, run over to Pizza Hut. Check on Alfred. Cece, Lou, Victor. Check on Alfred, Becky, Lou. No, you're Lou. Anybody with a yellow shirt.
If you want the most exciting, most outrageous, most mouth-watering pizzas there are, you gotta go to Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
They're not coming back.
A lot of folks need peace of mind these days, and that's just what they get with NAPA AutoCare's Peace of Mind warranty. Repairs are guaranteed on both parts and labor for 6 months or 6,000 miles anywhere they travel. And when they use the NAPA card, their guarantee doubles to 12 months or 12,000 miles. How do I know our customers find peace of mind here? Because I own this shop, and their peace of mind is guaranteed.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Back at Martinsville, you can see a whole bunch of cars passing the 28. That's because he bumped the wall up in the 3rd and 4th corners and having a heck of a time getting it into his pit stall on the backstretch.
And the caution flag did not come out. And I'm sure that some of these spotters told the driver that the caution flag was out because of the crash, but it was not waved.
Here's a replay of what happened on board with Kenny.
Maybe had somebody behind him, maybe tapped him a little bit as he was coming off the corner, and all of a sudden up into the wall he goes.
I would guess that there was some contact that caused the car to jerk sideways, and look at all that traffic jam behind him as they try to hit for an open hole.
Yeah.
Kenny Wallace had just been in the pits. Ooh, just barely squeezes by.
And you're right, Wallace was in the pits. John, what was that all about?
About 2 laps after I finished my earlier report on Kenny Wallace, he radioed in the temperature and had gone up on the water to 270 degrees. He was pushing water out the overflow. NASCAR black flag, and he came down on pit road. They sat here for several laps and refilled the radiator with water. So an overheating problem for Kenny Wallace.
We also noticed that Derek Cope was in for a pit stop and lost a few laps. Marlin working through slower traffic, coming up on the 9 car again to try to put him 2 laps down. That's Jerry Nadeau,
who is running in 32nd position.
We want to remind you once again that we know there's a lot going on in the world of baseball, the final regular season of the weekend. If there's anything significant that happens in the baseball world, you will know about it immediately here on ESPN. But then you expect that, don't you, of the worldwide leader in sports.
You'll see that Kenny Irwin has been able to get back on the racetrack between 1st and 2nd place cars. He tries to catch. He's now 4 laps down, but he's trying to catch a leader, hoping to get one of those laps back.
Has new tires on that Texaco Ford, so that should help him a little bit.
You saw Rudd there in second position. Here is third place Dale Jarrett and fourth place Jeff Gordon with the lap car of Kyle Petty. Napa field summary once again will show you the manufacturer's battle as it changes during the course of the race. Right now, Ricky Rudd is the best running Ford with Jarrett third. There's the 36 of Ernie Irvin, who's now in fifth spot. He was the pole sitter. The 50 car of Wally Dallenbach and the 99 of Jeff Burton are in a battle for sixth spot.
I think Jeff Burton's car, the Excite car, on the last run on that long green flag run, I think his car started slowing down. So that caution flag, I think, was a godsend for him. And also Dallenbach. Now here comes Mark Martin. He's left at 8th spot. Remember, started back in, I don't know, about 12th or something.
And he has shaved down the interval between himself and the leader, Sterling Marlin, in the last 5 laps, at least laps 136 through 140.
And look how consistent he is. 20.0, 20.1, all 5 of those laps, either one of those.
There's how he's done it. Started 13th, dropped back to 16th, then began the movement up to his current position of 8th. Jeff Burton continues to run in the 6th position, and we get a report on him from the pit area.
Well, as you guys had speculated at the end of that previous run, he was having some problems with his car. He wanted more forward bite, so they made a chassis adjustment and an air pressure adjustment during that pit stop. They've also got a couple of spring rubbers in both the right rear and left rear of that race car. They're saving those for when they really feel it will help them. 146 laps in, they haven't touched that, but they did improve his position with a quick pit stop, and they've improved the race car as well.
Jeff, of course, was the winner of the race here a year ago. Although he finished in 32nd position in the spring race here. Once again, Wally Dallenbach, Mark Martin, swapping positions.
Martin takes over the 7th position, drops Wally back to 8th.
Meanwhile, Sterling Marlin has tried his best to get through the traffic, and he is in traffic. He's been able to get by Skinner, by Kenny Irwin. Now he's behind Jeremy Mayfield, Dale Earnhardt, a couple of guys we know do not want to go a lap down.
In some cases, another lap down. In fact, Jeremy Mayfield had made a green flag pit stop. He is 4 laps down already.
And DJ is catching up on Ricky Rudd.
And that could be because Ricky Rudd is still not feeling well, right, Doc?
Well, Bob, we told you the helmet cooling system had frozen up inside the 10 car. Now, Ricky has tried to fix it himself. What he has done is, while driving with one hand, he has taken his other hand and taken the hose off of his helmet. Used the heat off the floorboard to blow in the hose and melt the dry ice. Now he has reconnected the hose back to his helmet and is getting a little bit of air. But he is still so hot in the car, they have gone to look for a relief driver. In fact, Hut Strickland is standing back behind the Rudd pit, and he may have to consider putting Hut Strickland in the car. They got him standing by in case Ricky says, I definitely want to put him in the car. So Hut is standing by here behind the tie pit if he is needed.
Needs to get him a fire suit on and be ready for it in case they call on him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Marlin coming up to put another lap on the 21 car of Michael Walter. That would put him 3 laps down. Sterling Marlin's best finish on a short track this year was at Richmond in June, where he finished 10th. For right now, he has led 47 laps.
All clear all around. That's just smooth, baby. Save your stuff. Long ways to go. Not even halfway yet.
That's right. Not even halfway. That's exactly right. So,
shot overhead from the Pennzoil copter cam. Just a couple of very puffy white clouds in the sky today, and that sun that's beaming down on Martinsville Speedway, increasing the temperature to above 90 degrees. Ricky Rudd runs in 2nd position. His wife's looking on, hoping that he can record a win here this afternoon. We're 151 laps into this race. It is Marlon over Rudd, Jared Gordon, and Ernie Irvin. Those are your top 5.
Mark, if you're at the airport before my 8 o'clock flight, maybe we can talk. Otherwise, it's over.
Come on!
Didn't get an AC Delco battery? They last up to 30% longer.
Barry!
AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Let me give you a little driving lesson, okay? Vehicles have changed. They're bigger, they're faster, they're a lot more than just a fashion accessory, okay? And guess what? The way you drive has changed, too. So why are you still using your old Motorola? Doesn't make sense. These are Quaker State synthetics. 4x4, high performance, ultra premium. Made for what you drive, where you drive, the way you drive. They've been tested. For pure maximum protection, there's nothing better. I think it's time for an oil change. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
My dad taught me what it means to be a true fan. What it means to come out and give 110%. Right, Dad?
Yeah!
I'm more the quiet type. Well, the cold doesn't bother me so much. It's the chili dogs. Oh, that's why I bring out the Rolaids.
Rolade starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
It's just like Grandpa always says. You got to be your best out here.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
Mom doesn't make it out to the games. I don't know why.
Introducing the Midas battery. Now for just $49.99 with rebate. Batteries. Brand new from Midas.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well. Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Ice House, thanks and enjoy.
Sterling Marlin, the 40 car, leads the NAPA AutoCare 500 here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, coming up on the 94 of Bill Elliott. And in second position is Ricky Rudd, the interval 1.6 seconds. Well, you can boot up your computer and get on the information superhighway at www.nascar.com. That's their official website where you can get all kinds of scoring information and, of course, the latest news from not only the NASCAR Winston Cup division, from all divisions associated with NASCAR. NASCAR online at www.nascar.com. Bill Elliott's running in 20th position, and Sterling is trying to put him a lap down.
And there's a couple cars right in front of him. The #1 car of Steve Park. Bobby Labonte's not too far ahead of them there. They'd like to stay on that lead lap.
Bill has an update on Sterling Marlin, who continues to look good.
Continues to run very well, as a matter of fact, Bob, and it's like old times down here. Tony Glover is perched on the pit wall, and about 10 laps ago, he began coaching Marlin. He's very patient now. That's when Sterling was getting into race lap traffic. So he keeps telling him, be patient, a long way to go, run your race. They're very confident right now about their chances of a strong finish.
There's no doubt they have a very good race car, but right now the other cars are catching Sterling right now because Bill Elliott, these other cars do not want to go a lap down. They're holding him up just a little bit.
Here's Green, Musgrave, and Ken Schrader, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Great run, bro. 3 of those guys today.
They're running a little over a half a lap behind the leader, but they are having a good run.
Jeff Green is running up in the gray part of the racetrack, a different line than most of these cars are running. Normally you see him right down on the bottom in the black part, but Jeff Green is running up on top and making some headway.
That does open up the inside lane for Ted Musgrave, but Musgrave has wrestled with Jeff for several laps now.
Now Sterling Marlin has, as we watch this battle, has finally gotten up beside of Bill Elliott. But there's nowhere for him to go because Bobby Labonte's up there, and he's in heavy traffic, and now Sterling's not able to get around Bill Elliott because Bobby Labonte was there, and Bobby has gone a lap down now.
And it see that Rudd and Jarrett and Jeff Gordon all have just about caught Sterling Marlin as he tries to wrestle with this traffic.
Elliott trying desperately to stay on the lead lap.
I mean, right now, Sterling Marlin is probably a little agitated with Bill Elliott, but he also understands that if Bill Elliott was in the same shape, he'd be doing the same thing to Bill Elliott.
Sure, he wants to stay on that lead lap.
Once again, the battle for 11th position here as Musgrave and Green continue to go at it. Looks like that Musgrave could get the advantage off the corner, but Jeff is very fast down the straightaways.
Well, of course, by them running side by side, the line is taken away. Now he's able to get on the accelerator and take it out to the wall. Before, he was having to pinch it down and was not able to accelerate full throttle off the corner. But now here comes, well, Jeff's going to try to look on the inside, but that didn't quite work.
Well, one guy that's having an outstanding race so far in 10th position is Brett Bodine.
He really is a terrific run. Qualified well and is running well.
And he needed a good run, too. Brett, of course, has had a lot of experience here at the Martinsville Speedway, and it's good to see him running up there in the top 10.
Statistics here that he would like to overcome. Last top finish was 51 races ago at Sears Point last year. Jerry?
And Ned, just echoing what you're saying, back in our old radio days, we watched Brett Bodine and Jerry Kennan, who's crew chief now with the Winston Cup car, be very successful at this racetrack in the Busch Grand National Series. And Brett said it was like old times this weekend. He and Jerry Kennan qualifying up front and running up front. In fact, once he sat on the pole here, whoops, we got a spin on the racetrack. Spencer.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Spencer. He's out in turn 2, and the caution has come out.
And
He ain't coming like a wild man. Be careful.
okay, they're talking to Sterling Marlin. The car's trying to get a lap back. And Kenny Irwin trying desperately to get there, but the 44 car, Kyle Petty, was right there and kept him from getting it.
Now, Irwin was trying to get 1 of 4 laps back and was not successful. Meanwhile, the spinner has driven away from the scene of the incident as the pace car picks up the leader, Sterling Marlin.
Some damage to the nose of the Winston car, Jimmy Spencer's car, so I guess he made some contact with someone when he tried to dodge that vehicle. Right in the middle of the screen, we see him go down, and no contact. Just gets in the corner, around he goes.
Yep.
Jimmy's car hasn't been handling too good today. He's already 3 laps down. Now he's gone 4 laps down.
Now here all the cars come down pit road. Bill Weber.
3,600 RPM for Sterling Marlin as he brings his car down pit road. This should be routine. 4 tires, and Sterling asks, make sure you get me a water bottle. He gets that right away. They swing around to the right side. They have an extra man, all the teams do, to clean the windshield. Right side tires going on, getting ready to add the rest of the fuel. Now they come around to the left side, jack it up. This is a big test for this pit crew. Not often have they had the lead this season. Marlin on pit road. Let's go to Jerry.
Already right side tires on and a half around the way to tighten up a little bit. 24 cars down and away. 4 tires for the Rudd crew. Here goes the Tide 4 down pit road behind the 24.
And the 88. Rudd will come out in 4th position. Martin 5th, and Ernie Irvin in 6th spot. John Kernan's on the backstretch.
That's what Terry Labonte is for. They are doing a 2-tire change, only right side tires for Terry Labonte to try and gain some track position by beating the cars hitting on the front stretch. One problem that Terry is having, he can hear the crew on the radio. They can't hear him. So as they were driving around into caution, they had to ask him, well, what's the car? Is it loose or tight? He would touch the door if it were loose, touch the roof if it were tight.
Just like they did it in the old days before they had the luxury of radios for communication. Sterling Marlin continues to lead under our 3rd caution of the afternoon at Martinsville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a Stepford worker. I am not a carbon copy. I will call this number before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everybody's working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that works for me, where a pat on the back doesn't involve a knife. Today, I will hit the snooze button one less time. Today is the first day of the rest of my career.
If you have experience in technology, accounting, or legal or clerical skills, find out how In-Room can help you. Call 1-800-A-CAREER.
And the Baltimore fans will be loud. It's the Bengals against the Ravens in an ESPN Sunday Night Football battle.
3 things I know about the helmet camp. Number 1, it was gimmicky. Number 2, it never worked. And number 3, you're an idiot. Now who's playing top?
You know, I don't appreciate being called an idiot. Just because you fear technology, that's not my fault. I've been called a lot of things at this table, but an idiot will not be one of them.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Bengals against the Ravens.
I'll be afraid to wear that helmet, Cam. The radio waves might mess up my mind.
Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions.
We've talked about ways NASCAR Winston Cup teams can spend money. Well, here's one way they try and save money and be sensible at the same time. This is kind of involved, so pay close attention. There are 2 types of rear-end gears in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. There's the open rear-end gear and the Detroit locker rear-end gear. In an open gear, there's this little pin in the middle. So when you try and insert the axle from either side, it runs up against that pin. In the Detroit locker rear-end gear, there's no pin in there. So you can insert the axle all the way through. Here's the catch. The teams try and use the same axles for both gears. But because the open gear has the pin in the middle, they must find some way to account for that space when they use the Detroit locker gear. And here's how they do that. They will take a bolt and insert it in one end of one axle. Now they have an axle that is the proper length. But here's the catch. Occasionally, this bolt will start to back itself out. And when it does, watch what happens. It's in the drive plate, goes up against the dust cap, knocks off the dust cap, and can come flying out on the racetrack. How can one little bolt do all that?
Well, Bill, it's the torque of the engine that's trying to loosen that bolt. And this dust cap is held on by 3 quarter-inch bolts. They're no match for the torque of the engine. It shears these 3 bolts off, the dust cap flies off, and then the axle shaft comes out.
And right behind the axle shaft is all that grease on the racetrack. Then you'll have a multi-car crash. This is a sensible and economic move by NASCAR Winston Cup teams, but it has to be executed properly.
We're back under green here at Martinsville, and the shot underneath the car will give you an indication of where all this is.
That's Bobby Labonte's car, and right here is the gear that we were talking about. The Detroit locker, as they go in the corner, the rear end will open up and let the car roll into the corner with the wheels unlocked. When the driver hits the accelerator, gets back on the throttle, then the rear wheels lock up. That's why they use the Detroit locker.
Kenny Wallace is out of the race. He is standing by to relieve Kenny Irwin.
Well, he came over to talk to Ricky Rudd about getting in that car, and this is 180 laps into the race.
Kenny Irwin is a young driver, but...
And remember, his car was bent up a lot. He got into the wall and could be a crush panel. Here's Mark Martin trying to pass Jeff Gordon on the outside. Ricky Rudd and Dale Jarrett have already done it on the outside. They're running second and third. Now Mark Martin trying to take over fourth.
John can tell us about the 28 car, John.
Kenny Irwin, as you saw, has gotten out of the car. He's being administered to right now, just extremely hot. You remember, he took a very hard lick last week at Dover. Talked to him about that, and he told me this morning, I feel pretty good, except my back is still giving me some problems. I asked Slugger Lavey if they had knocked the crush panel in. He said no, just the heat, combination of the injuries last week has forced Kenny Irwin to get out of the car. They had already asked Kenny Wallace after he went behind the wall if he could get in their car. Kenny came over during that caution, and Kenny Wallace is now in the 28 car.
And they're cooling him down there on pit road in the shade. What a day it is. Here's Jerry Punch.
And Ricky Rudd is going to try to stay in the car. Let me show you what they're doing here. They have found little makeup bags. There's a nice little cute pink one here. There's another pink and blue one back here. And they're filling them full of ice and putting them down inside the uniform of Ricky Rudd. He said, if you keep these makeup bags full of ice coming, I might be able to make it. So a little bitty cosmetic case might allow Ricky Rudd to keep his string of 15 consecutive years of winning a race alive. How about that, guys?
How about that? Sterling Marlin is in the lead. However, Dale Jarrett is charging up to him, and Ricky Rudd is right there also.
2085.
Ricky Rudd, the Tide Ride, is a really good race car today. He's proven this over and over again as he presses Dale Jarrett trying to get by the Ford Quality Care car. And meanwhile, it looks like both those cars might be closed in just a little bit on Sterling Marlin.
And it has been confirmed that the crush panels were knocked out of place on the 28 car of Kenny Irwin, so he was getting some exhaust fumes inside of that car, which will make you sick in a hurry at a place like this.
There is Mark Martin running in 6th position. He's about 1.2 seconds behind Sterling Marlin.
He's just quietly stayed up there. He dropped back out the top 10 early in the race and has just hung right around in there, and here he is now.
He told us during NASCAR Day that Martinsville was not one of his favorite racetracks. He has won here before, however, in the spring of 1992. 7 top 5s and 14 top 10s for Mark Martin in the 25 races in which he has competed.
Bob, I would guess if you took a poll of these drivers today in this heat, this humidity, none of them would call Martinsville their favorite racetrack today. Man, it's miserable out there.
It really is. Look at the points positions as they change throughout the race. Bobby Hamilton down 2 to 14th. Ricky Rudd, in his performance so far today, has at the moment moved him up 2 positions to 20th in the standings.
See Rudd move in close on DJ going into the corners.
Dale Jarrett began his NASCAR Winston Cup career here at Martinsville in the spring of 1984. Two third-place finishes, the best for him at this racetrack. He finished 3rd in April of this year. Here comes the entire field through the shot. You can see where your favorite driver is, and that's Dennis Setzer, who is moving out of the pits here on the front straightaway onto the racetrack once again.
As you can see, there are cars almost all the way around the racetrack.
And back to the leader. Sterling Marlin leads Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd at Martinsville. 196 of 200 laps completed. We'll be right back.
Michael came onto the scene in Indy cars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on the Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze from Texaco.
Some things are obvious from the start. Like, things turn out better when you work together. That's why the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation got together to create programs to improve skills and safety, to educate, to promote teamwork and build better quality cars and trucks. Assembly line to finish line. Teamwork wins.
Coming in, guys.
Look! Bill's in trouble. Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here. No, 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 here.
Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
The 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup season continues with the NAPA AutoCare 500 at Martinsville, being brought to you by UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation. Assembly line to finish line, teamwork wins. By Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. And by McDonald's. Right now, get back with Big Mac at participating McDonald's and get something groovy every time. Over 85,000 people have gathered here on this hot Sunday afternoon to watch the running of this NASCAR Winston Cup race. And despite the fact that it's sweltering down there, the race fans are having a great time. Jerry Punch, how hot is it?
Bob, you don't want to know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We got an infrared thermometer here. I'm going to shoot a tire just sitting here in the pit. The tire that's not even been run yet. Off the tire, and it's showing 132 degrees. Now I'm going to shoot a crew member here. It's the back of his uniform. It is 100 degrees. It's off the back of his uniform. It's 99 to 100. It's got to be 140 in the car or above. That's why these guys are struggling right now.
Well, Ned, and there's Kenny Irwin. We saw him prone on the ground a few moments ago, but he looks like he's up and around, right, John?
Yeah, right now he's going over to the infield care center to be checked out. They've administered oxygen to him while he sat here in the shade of the pit area, and also a lot of towels that have been doused in ice water just trying to cool him down. But he looks a lot better right now as he walks over to the care center than he did when I first saw him after he got out of the race car.
Meanwhile, the action continues on the track. Kenny Wallace is in relief for Kenny Irwin in the 28 car. He's 9 laps down in 37th position. Ned, you've been coming here for many years. Ever remember a day as hot as it is in the spring race or the fall race here this year?
No, the spring or the fall, Bob. Normally, you know, when we're here in April, it's pretty cool conditions, and normally when we're here in September, it's cool. But not this time. It is very hot. No, I can't recall any time it's been this hot.
There's the interval between first and second. Sterling Marlin on the left. The second place car, Ricky Rudd, in second position. Jarrett is third. There's Gordon.
Now, Gordon, Ernie Urban, and Jeff Burton have all passed Mark Martin in the last 7 or 8 laps. When Gordon got up beside of him, Mark got a little bit loose coming off the turn 4. He didn't fight it. Those other guys were right there. He just let them go and said, I'll ride here for a little while. About those little battles on the racetrack with one of those race cars. He's fighting a war.
And that war is 500 laps this racetrack against all these cars and the heat and temperature today. That is the war that he's facing today.
Of course, he wants to be there at the end because he still has that championship in sight. He's a couple hundred points down coming into this race, but he certainly hasn't given up.
And won't.
And I think Jeff Gordon's driving basically the same type of a race, too. He's just keeping himself clean, sitting there in 4th place right now.
Remember, Mark Martin most recently had a bad finish at Darlington, 40th as a matter of fact, and that is the reason that he has slipped so far behind Mark Martin. Other than that, or rather Jeff Gordon, other than that, Mark has had outstanding finishes recently. Sterling Marlin continues to circle the racetrack and lap cars, putting Jerry Nadeau another lap down. He now goes 4 laps down. There are 20 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton is running in 20th position. Ricky Rudd is in second. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment of the NAPA AutoCare 500.
Delco rapid-fire spark plugs? They'll give you quicker throttle response and smoother idle, no matter what you drive. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
A lot of folks need peace of mind these days, and that's just what they get with NAPA AutoCare's Peace of Mind warranty. Repairs are guaranteed on both parts and labor for 6 months or 6,000 miles anywhere they travel. And when they use the NAPA card, they're guaranteed doubles to 12 months or 12,000 miles. How do I know our customers find peace of mind here? Because I own this shop, and their peace of mind is guaranteed.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
The Honda ATVs. The desert can't beat them. The jungle can't beat them. Mountains, rocks, water, even a fall from 1,000 feet can't beat them. And if you thought these Hondas were tough to beat before, now they come with no down payment and 9.8% APR financing, but only until December 31st. Tough to beat deals from your Honda dealer. Honda ATVs, best on earth.
We're at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia today for ESPN Speed World coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500. Larry Rice, Dave Despain, and myself will be in Bakersfield, California on Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern Time for a Thunder telecast. We have 2 telecasts from Bakersfield, 1 from Las Vegas, as the Thunder season begins to ramp up. That's Wednesday night. Join us for a USAC Western States Midget Race from Bakersfield, California. Right now, Sterling Marlin continues to lead. He has led 116 laps, and in the 4 races that he had led this year, the total laps led 110, so he has led more today than he has all year long.
Ricky Rudd, the Tide Ride, is in 2nd spot. Dale Jarrett is in 3rd spot. BJ's about 2 1/4 seconds behind the leader, and we can see that Jeff Gordon is now. You know, Ned, Jeff Gordon is not too good on those cold, fresh tires, but once he gets about 40, 50 laps on them, he runs about as good as anyone.
Yes, he does. He has gained about a half a second on Sterling Marlin in the last 5 laps. He was over 3 seconds behind. Now he's only 2.67. We've got trouble off of turn 2.
That's Jimmy Spencer, who spins for the second time.
About fucked up, Doug.
What happened there? Sterling Marlin, the leader, got in the back of Jimmy Spencer and caused him to spin. And when you see Ricky Rudd, now the leader, as Rick Mass tries to get back, he caused Spencer to spin, and that's one reason that Rudd was able to get by. There you see the contact. Now I wonder how much damage it did to the front of the 40 car, Sterling Marlin.
Yep. It's our 4th caution of the afternoon. Bill Weber has a report.
A huge break for Dale Jarrett. The pit crew was on the wall. DJ had told him he thought the right rear was going down. They were just about to pit. Now he's saved by this caution. So he will come in and get 4 fresh tires, but they are probably going to have to pit under green.
And the pits will open this time around, so we're going to see a lot of activity down on pit road. Back to you, Bill.
So Dale Jarrett benefits from this caution. He's the 4th car in line as they come down pit road. He swings the Quality Care Ford into his stall. He'll go around to the right side. They were going to make a chassis adjustment. They also talked about possibly dropping the track bars on the right side. So they do make a track bar adjustment. They've got the right sides on. Jerry?
Tire service for Ricky Rudd, but what's important is they are spraying water. 2 tire change for Sterling Marlin. He is down and away. They are spraying water on Ricky Rudd. The tires are important, but not nearly as important as the water and the ice pack. The 50 is away. The 88 is away. The 24. Here's the 10 moving out. Let's check into the Terry Labonte pit with John Kearney.
Remember the last pit stop under caution. Terry Labonte's crew took right side tires only for track position this time. They're going to have to take 4 tires, and everybody pitting on the front stretch goes zooming by, even though they're in the midst of a pit stop. Labonte guns the engine. He is down and away. However, I don't think he'll beat Ken Schrader and Brett Lodine.
Let's take a look at why we are under our 4th caution of the day. It came out on lap 223.
We see Spencer going down in turn 1, and we see Sterling Marlin, the leader of the 40 car, come up just a little touch in the left rear, sends Spencer around. He nails the gas, and we see Ricky Rudd going by to take the lead. Here's another angle to come off the corner, and look at all the smoke that Spencer puts up. And NASCAR really truly needed to throw that caution flag simply because the drivers could not drive through that smoke.
Well, Rudd got the lead then, but because of only a 2-tire change, Sterling Marlin has the advantage back now with Wally Dolan back 2nd We'll be back in a moment.
Some things are obvious from the start. Like, things turn out better when you work together. That's why the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation got together to create programs to improve skills and safety, to educate, to promote teamwork and build better quality cars and trucks. Assembly line to finish line. Teamwork wins.
Gordon is way behind. Stick a fork in Jeff. He's done. Oh, my. What is he thinking? Holy Baloo. What the heck is that? Ooh, that's got to hurt. Well, what could possess a man to drive like that? Gotcha. He's making his move backwards. Gordon wins.
We got to get him a cup holder.
Generation next.
In racing, the engine is everything.
What? It's the driver.
A driver will never see a finish line without a great engine.
The greatest engine will never see a victory lap without a great driver.
At least they agree on Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil, the same oil you can buy right off the shelf. And also try Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze from Texaco.
The engine's the first thing with the finish line.
Not in Indy cars.
Are you old school? Old school, like Earl the Pearl, shaking and baking.
Mark Fidrich, Bobby Orr.
Joe Lewis, old school.
Old school is Paul Bear Bryant. Like Pistol Pete.
Illy Funkster socks. Black socks. Shorts. Definitely old school.
Old school like me, Julius Irvin.
Dr. J.
Running down like in the 70s with a big afro.
Got it going on.
I can play basketball with anybody.
Now that's old school.
It is a hot and steamy, humid day in Martinsville as this race is now nearing halfway. Ted Musgrave has gotten out of his number 77 car. He had a hot seat and trying to cool himself off. Already, Kenny Wallace has replaced Kenny Irwin in that car, and Hut Strickland is standing by to relieve Ricky Rudd as Reed comes back out.
Now, these two cars in front changed two tires. Interesting to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, you might question that, Benny, but they'd only run about 50 laps since they had made a four-tire change, and I'm sure that Sterling's crew thought, well, we haven't had that much on those left rear tires, but we will see how it will work out.
Jerry has more on Rudd, who is currently in fifth spot.
And as you said, Bob, Hut Strickland is in the uniform with the helmet on, standing in Ricky Rudd's pit. Now the problem is they poured water on his back in the seat to try to cool him off. And that's good for about 30 seconds. Then the water heats up and becomes a sauna, so it begins to boil his backside. And now his backside and bottom are burning on top of the fact that he can't breathe in the helmet. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Jerry, this is the right rear tire off Dale Jarrett's Ford. Right here, it is definitely cut. This tire was going down. They were going to have to pit under green. Clearly saved by the caution. Mark it down. If Dale Jarrett goes on to win this race, he had some of that luck we talked about at the beginning of the race.
You see Ricky Rudd. There's DJ we're talking about, and Wally Dollar back that Budweiser car is giving Sterling Marlin some fits here if he tries to get by him.
Evidently, Wally only changed two tires, too, because he was back in the field pretty far and came out in second place. So that's working good right now, the two-tire changes.
Rudd and Ernie Irvin battle for fourth position. The number 2 car of Rusty Wallace. Remember, early in the event, he had some problems, lost 16 laps, and is in 39th position. We're riding with him. A reminder about baseball. Mark McGuire looking for home run number 69 this afternoon. We'll have all the updates for you. Just stay here with us because you won't miss anything significant in the world of baseball.
Well, when they flashed that up last night on ESPN that he had hit 67 and 68, that was
unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yep. Bill Weber's with Ted Musgrave.
Ted, you had to get out. What happened?
I'll tell you what, when you talk about a hot seat, I took all the padding out of Robert's seat so I could get down in there. And I'll tell you what, I'm a little raw in the back right now. It's starting to blister, so we put a big padding in there, put Steve in there so he doesn't have to do that. So I can say it's going to get bad enough. I got to run next week too, but I got a little bit of a blistered butt.
How good is that car?
Car's real good. You know, I say we didn't make no adjustments here at the end. Just I hate it for him, like I say, but I'll tell you what. I hate to walk around and show you what I got right now. It wouldn't be too pretty on TV. I don't want to say.
No, I don't either.
And unfortunately, the car went a lap down as a result of that driver change.
So we have 2 relief drivers in already. Steve Grissom for Ted and Kenny Wallace for Kenny Irwin. Wallace dropping out of the event earlier.
See the battle for 5th spot between Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin back in 7th spot.
Ernie Irvin in 5th position is eligible for $7,600 in the 76 Racing Challenge. It was won, of course, last weekend over by Mark Martin.
You know, Ned, those 2 guys in front changing those 2 tires. And if we can just go caution-free for about 100 laps, that really might play into Jeff Gordon's hands because he might be able to get up there if he can keep the cars behind him before then, like Ricky Rudd and the rest of them. But if he can get up there, he might be able to pass those guys and get those 5 bonus points for leading the race.
But right now, Ricky Rudd trying to go by Jeff Gordon and take over that position, so that'll be another one he'll have to pass.
Forget I said that, folks.
There have been 4 leaders so far. Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, John Andretti, and Ernie Irvin. Marlin has led the most, 134 and counting. Jeff Gordon has not led a lap, neither has Mark Martin, but of course it is early in the race as we're now 9 laps away from the halfway point. As you can see, Mark McGuire is about to hit in St. Louis. You are keeping abreast of what's going on here in Martinsville and what's happening in St. Louis. ESPN also making history by covering the history-making events in the world of baseball in 1998.
Jeff Gordon right now all of a sudden is falling back. He's struggling to get around the racetrack.
Yeah, Bobby Levine, who's a lap down, has passed him in the last few laps. We had seen that earlier when he had new tires on, but then his car seemed to come in after that. He's got relatively new tires now, so maybe that's still the case.
On board with Rusty Wallace. No score in the game in St. Louis. We're chasing a championship here at Martinsville Speedway. Mark McGuire continues to try to add to his home run total for the year.
Now, Jeff moves over, going to let Rusty Wallace go by. Dale Jarrett will be next.
Rusty is 16 laps down. He was 17 laps earlier. He made up a lap during that last caution.
If you just tuned in, Rusty Wallace broke a radiator just early on in the race. Had to stop and change it. Took him 17 laps to do so. And as Ned said, he's now 16 back where he made up one of those laps.
And he's in 39th position.
81 car of Wallace, the only one out of the race. 2-2 count on Mark McGuire.
That was a home run cut, but I don't believe he made it.
No.
Got a hit, though.
Yeah. So McGuire will be a race runner or base runner, but no home run in his at-bat, but we'll be updating the situation all afternoon long. Side-by-side battle for second position between Rudd in the 10 and Wally Dallenbach in the 50, and Rudd takes that position. Now sets his sights on the leader, Sterling Marlin. Prior to today, he had led only 3 Martinsville races. Sterling Marlin had for 115 laps. So far today, 141. This is the first race that he has led here at Martinsville since September of '92.
If you're considering natural hair restoration, remember, Bosley Medical Doctors have performed over 100,000 hair restoration procedures, more than any other group in the world.
Some of these transplants are 19, 20 years old, and they're growing just as strong today as they did in the beginning.
I will never have a hairline any higher than what you see now, ever. And that feels pretty good.
All I would have left up here, right now, without the transplants, would be light hairs. Everything else is transplanted.
We've developed
these new ultrafine micro-technologies. That means we can do up to 1,000 or 1,200 micrographs at a time. This makes a much more natural and unobtrusive appearance with our final result.
Simply call the number on your screen for your free information and schedule your free private consultation. Find out for yourself how these remarkable procedures can give you a new head of hair and a whole new outlook on life.
One swing can change his hearing. And what are they swinging? Bat.
The playoffs are on ESPN. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1. Get ready for the big boys.
Hey, man, it's about bragging rights and a big freaking ring.
Most people don't realize we had a blimp right here at Bristol. Really? Yeah, everything was great until other blimps got involved.
2 blimps, 1 game. It was a recipe for disaster.
NFL Countdown, Sundays at 11, Mondays at 6:30 on ESPN.
Just past the halfway mark here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. 253 laps have been completed. It is a gorgeous, hot day here in Martinsville, perhaps a little bit too hot for some of these drivers because already we are seeing relief drivers being called upon. The Pennzoil copter cam circling overhead in the skies over Martinsville. We have a report from John Kernan, who's working the backstretch.
They're all around.
Bob, we've been talking about the heat and its effect on the drivers. Well, you know, Ted Musgrave, his back and his rear end got a little bit hot. The problem for Rookie of the Year contender Steve Hart is his feet. So what the crew has done, they've gotten this top off of a styrofoam cooler. The next pit stop, they'll take this in, lay it on the floorboard underneath his feet so he can rest his heels on this and hopefully not have a hot shoe, but a cool shoe.
So we have used styrofoam lid covers, cooler covers. We've used makeup bags, anything to keep cool today, huh?
Wonder if the manufacturers of those products would have ever even dreamed of seeing their products used in this manner.
That's what I used to use on my feet for insulation was styrofoam coffee cups.
Is that right?
Yeah. So we see Ricky Rudd is closing in on Sterling Marlin. Last lap comparison, Marlin ran 21:17, Rudd 21:05. About 0.12 of a second faster for Ricky Rudd, and then I guess that's because that Rudd has on 4 tires and Sterling Marlin only changed 2.
Yeah, I would say that is definitely working to Ricky's advantage right now.
And the AutoZone on-track interval, you see in 5 laps that Rudd was able to close from 1.2 seconds down to 0.7, 5.5 seconds, and every lap ran a 21.0 or 21.1. As hot as he is, Ricky Rudd, my hat's off. Of course, I don't have a hat on. If I did, I would take it off because to be able to run that consistently, as hot as he is, I'm amazed.
Jeff Gordon is in 4th spot and Dale Jarrett 5th. And Mark Martin is behind Jarrett.
In 6th place, not far behind Mark Martin.
So the first 3 in the points position are running 4th, 5th, and 6th on the racetrack.
Ernie Irvin's right behind Mark Martin as Jeff Gordon comes up on his teammate, Wally Dallenbach. And Wally it was confirmed that he only got 2 tires during his pit stop.
Wally has given this car a good run. He's in 3rd position, but to remember the 50 car was 5th here in the spring under the controls of Randy LaJoy. It was 8th in last year's NAPA 500, driven by Ricky Craven. And Bill Elliott are side by side.
It's a battle for 16th, 17th. Jeremy Mayfield back there. Jeremy is 4 or 5 laps down. Made a green flag pit stop, and naturally the caution flag. He would say naturally a few laps later the caution flag flew, and everyone else got to make those tire changes on the caution.
And he also has lost a couple laps on the racetrack. Then he just that car hasn't been up to his expectations today. He is 5 laps down in 34th position.
First Plus Field summary showing you the point positions as they change as we go along. Bobby Labonte right now gaining a position on Jeff Burton.
Here's Ricky Rudd, just a couple of car lengths behind the leader. Well, make that about 0 car lengths behind the leader, Sterling Marlin.
do you feel better? Does the heat become less of a factor when you're involved in a battle for the lead?
Oh, yeah, I think definitely that Ricky Rudd right now is thinking more about trying to pass the 40 car than how hot he is.
It's a mind over matter situation.
Exactly. Now, Michael Walters, the guy behind him that's sitting there running 4 laps down, all he thinks about is how hot it is.
Yeah.
Because he's just trying to make laps to get this thing over with.
Wally Dallenbach's going to lose some spots here. He drifts high on the racetrack, allowing Gordon to go to the inside. Also Dale Jarrett and probably Mark Martin and Ernie Irvin before it's over with.
Well, take that inside and move right on around. Here comes Ernie.
Mark's got something waving in the breeze there, doesn't he?
Looks like a piece of debris.
Yeah. Maybe a piece of paper.
Could be. One of the world-famous Martinsville hot dog wrappers, possibly.
Yeah, it'd be a whole lot better. It's a lot better that if it is a hot dog wrapper, whatever it is, that it caught there on the fender as opposed to in the grill.
That's right. Now watch this from the onboard camera of Steve Park. Something has fallen off one of the cars, and look out!
Just missed our camera.
Wow.
And the 7th car, the right front is broken off.
And there's the tire rolling down the straightaway.
And we see Jeff Bodine trying to make it in the back pits. We'll make it in the back pits. And naturally, the caution flag is going to come out because we've got to get that tire off the racetrack.
It's the 5th caution of the afternoon, and it comes out on lap 268. The tire off Jeff Bodine's car has stopped just shy of the start-finish line, but it will have to be retrieved. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Thank you. Next. Howard Sherman. You'll be a fair and impartial juror in this trial?
Yes, sir. I think I can. I think everybody has the right to a fair trial in this country, and innocent until proven guilty. That's my motto.
Excuse.
If you're going to get out of jury duty,
What?
get out of jury duty. If you're going to get a burger, get a burger. The Monster Burger, only at Hardee's. 2 large, juicy patties with the most bacon and cheese you can get.
You gonna go? Go all out.
With new spark plugs, you get improved performance for a while. But only Bosch Platinum has a pure platinum center electrode that's heat fused. So Bosch Platinum reaches its self-cleaning temperature faster for full engine power and improved fuel efficiency over a longer performance life. Which means you'll replace a lot of other things before you change your Bosch Platinums. Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
Flip log, day 19. Traveling the circuits of NASCAR.
Darlington, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte. The drivers, the cars, the action, bumper to bumper, mono-e-mono at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, with us covering every heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping moment at the incredible speeds of over
35 miles an hour, as fast as it goes.
What? It's a good thing they keep going around in circles.
Racing at Martinsville, a tradition that outdates even NASCAR itself. 34 years ago, in 1964, Fred Lorenzen won the Old Dominion 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. He started from the pole position and led 493 of the 500 laps and took his 7th victory of the season. But the star of the day was Richard Petty. He came from 21st to finish in 2nd spot, and that 2nd place finish enabled him to clinch his first of 7 Winston Cup titles. NASCAR's 50th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR fans. Well, a lot has changed here at Martinsville over the years, but really since we've been coming here in 1981, The only thing that has changed is the tremendous addition of seats all around this place.
I guess the concrete also has changed. Was it concrete in 81 when you
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yep.
I guess that was no... Under caution flag once again for the tire that came off Jeff Bodine's car. I guess the car broke a spindle. That's what it looked like anyway. There we see the wheel, though. That's the right front wheel off Bodine's car. And fortunately, it will come across the racetrack, and no one will hit it.
So pit stops occurred. Everybody coming in for new tires and fuel. We'll get down to Jerry Punch.
All right, the leaders coming down pit road moments ago. The 24 car came in. They had a half a round on the track bar in the right rear and loosened the car up. 4 tires for Ricky Rudd, and right in front of Rudd, the 36 car, they made an adjustment as well with taking 1 round of wedge out to loosen it up. They told Ricky Rudd, they said, Ricky, listen, just think how good that lake's going to feel tomorrow with the checkered flag in one hand and that check in the other. Ricky said, yeah, if I'm not in a hospital bed. They leave pit road. Let's check in with Bill.
First of all, on Sterling Marlin, a great pit stop, 17.74 seconds, 4 tires and fuel, so their 2-tire gamble earlier didn't hurt them. As for the second place car of Ken Schrader, took right side tires only. The car was a little bit tight. They added fuel. They did remove 1 round of wedge. Dale Jarrett got 4 tires, tightened him up just a little bit.
Ken Schrader will line up in second position. Now, there is the driver who has accumulated the most points in the 1998 short track season, Dale Jarrett, who is currently 5th here this afternoon. We're still under caution, the 5th of the afternoon at Martinsville.
As a sponsor of the Fan Tour, the Money Store is offering a $500 cash rebate on home equity loans. It's the Money Store 500 rebate. It's a great way to get rid of bills and cut expenses, and now you can get an extra $500 cash when you get your loan from the Money Store. If you're a homeowner, call 1-800-LOAN-YES now and ask for the Money Store 500 rebate.
I won!
But only if you call the Money Store.
Michael came onto the scene in Indy cars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze from Texaco.
Nobody tells these guys how to drive. Nobody tells them they can't race 700 horsepower trucks. And no one's going to tell them what tubes to use. The 1998 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tougher drivers, the toughest tools. Craftsman makes anything possible.
Mark, if you're at the airport before my 8 o'clock flight, maybe we can talk. Otherwise, it's over.
Ah! Come on. Oh, stop. Oh, no. That's battery.
No matter what my customers drive, they depend on AC Delco batteries. They last up to 30% longer.
I'm sure they do. Just give me the generic equipment, okay?
AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Friday night of the fights are back. This week, our main event will feature Andrew Galata against Tim Witherspoon. Muhammad Ali will be featured in our classic segments. Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman host ESPN2 Friday Night Fights, and it all debuts this Friday. Remember many years ago when we used to see Friday Night Fights? Well, by golly, we can see them again starting next Friday.
Wasn't that Gillette that brought you the Friday Night Fights?
Long time ago, BP. Showing your age.
Yes, I am.
The Pennzoil Copter Cam has this shot of the field as it comes down the main straightaway, heads into turn number 1, following the pace car as the 5th caution of the afternoon continues here. We've had 35 laps so far under caution. The most laps under caution was in this race in 82, 105 of the 500 laps under caution. Jerry Punch has a report.
Well, the Money Store car behind the wall. Jeff Green still sitting inside the Chevrolet as the crew continues to work. Jeff, what put you out so far? What's the problem?
Well, you know, I've been
trying to be easy on my brakes, and I thought I was. I got plenty of pad left, they say. It just, I guess I got air in them, overheated them or something. This place is hard on brakes. Had a pretty decent car, but we needed to be a lot better. Just trying to get the job done and just run out today.
Unfortunate incident when you came behind the wall.
Yeah, you know, trying to get back here as quick as I can. I ain't got any brakes, and people walk down pit road, not expecting cars to come, you know, and I just got into some lady there I hated for her, didn't mean to do it. I just couldn't steer out of her way or get stopped either one, and it was just a bad deal.
All right, he still sits in the car, and by the way, the lady who happened to stroll in front of the car may have a sprained right ankle. The medics are working with her, and we'll give you an update in a few minutes. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, they pushed rookie Jerry Nadeau's car into the garage area around, or in the infield, I should say, taking it to the truck. They can't find a relief driver. Jerry has been overcome with heat. He has just been, Sammy Sosa will be coming up to bat soon, but Jerry is up. Jerry Nadeau is out right now, and they don't have a relief driver. In fact, one of the NASCAR officials asked me if I have my helmet with me. I said, no. They said, well, we can find you one. What size? When I told them my head size, they said, yeah, they don't make helmets that big.
Yeah, that big head has finally gotten the best of you, Kernan.
You know something, Ed? I don't think I have ever seen a car parked because a relief driver was not available.
Yeah. There's no score. The Cubs versus Houston. Sammy Sosa in the batter's box as we continue to make history as far as baseball are concerned.
There's some runners on base for Sammy Sosa right now. I'm surprised he took that pitch. I didn't think Sosa had ever seen a pitch he didn't like.
And we understand the Mets are losing, so this is a battle for the wild card.
And again, if we do have a play-in game tomorrow, you'll see it on ESPN. Sammy hits a single, so he scores some runs. No home run for Sosa, but he did help the team.
And Kenny Schrader makes some contact, gets in the outside retaining wall with Jeff Gordon. Kenny Schrader went down in turn one with those new rights, just two-tire change. And when he got in the corner, the car wouldn't turn. I guess he had debris on the left side. And as he came off turn two, he and Jeff Gordon got together.
Of course, one reason that he put on just two tires, Andy Petrie and that crew, was to get him track position. He's already lost a lot of that now.
He has indeed, dropping from second back to sixth. That Dale Jarrett is tops in points on the short tracks this year. Kenny Schrader is third in short track points. 4 top 10s in the 5 races. This, of course, concludes the short track season in 1998. Let's replay this incident that occurred just after the green flag dropped.
Schrader's on the outside. He's very slow. Once he goes to the corner, just goes straight in. I'm sure it was debris on the left side, just junk he picked up on the tires that wouldn't let it turn. Now as they come off turn two, Jeff Gordon goes up. Boom, some contact right there, and Schrader just barely brushes the outside retaining wall.
Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett able to get by Ken Schrader, and now Jarrett challenges Gordon for third.
He's passed him several times on the early runs after a pit stop, but then Gordon's car seems to get better. We've documented that several times this afternoon, but you got to take those positions when you can get them and hope you can hang on.
Once again, the top 3 in points coming into this event are running so close you could throw a blanket over them here at the 285 lap mark. Jarrett takes the spot from Gordon. Oh, contact between Gordon and Mark Martin almost sends Mark out of control.
Martin was trying to get that position too, and he nailed the accelerator coming off of turn 2, and the car broke loose with him, and he did a grand job of bringing that thing back under control. Boy, he could almost see the rest of his championship hopes going down the drain right there. Here it is. Jarrett comes off. He's cleared Gordon. And there, his right front tire hit the left rear tire of Jeff Gordon as he came off the turn.
And when those tires make contact, as I said earlier in the telecast, you momentarily lose control of the car. Mark Martin, let's see what he sees from on board his Valvoline Ford. Man. I don't think he ever backed off the throttle, did he?
As you can see, Rusty Wallace has gotten another lap back. He's now 15 down.
And now Mark Martin is once again trying to get by Jeff Gordon, and does.
contested. Ernie Irvin now comes up on Gordon.
Puts Jeff Gordon back in 5th spot.
And Ricky Rudd is all over Sterling Marlin.
Bill Weber has an update.
Sterling Marlin's car has been perfect all day. It's been perfect since he got here, except on 4 fresh tires. He says it always starts off nice at the beginning of a run. Right now it is a little bit tight. That's allowing Rudd the opportunity to challenge for the lead.
And challenging he is doing, but so far has been unable to get by Sterling Marlin, who continues to add to his total laps led, now up to 185 at the 291 lap mark. We'll be right back.
They come from all over for the most agonizing test of endurance motorsports has to offer. The heavyweight championship of off-road racing, the legendary Baja 1000. Mile after mile of unforgiving terrain that can send even the toughest truck to an early grave, which means it can really be murder on a battery. That's why more drivers who tackle the Baja rely on the Duralast battery than any other. The same Duralast we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
It is designed for power, engineered for the corners, and made to bring you to your feet. This is the White Track Grand Prix, selected the official pace car for NASCAR's 50th anniversary season. Whiter is better.
I'm looking for Pine Street.
Go down to the fork in the road. Right, but make sure you take the left fork. Right. Then you see a big brown dog. Keep straight. 2 blocks down the street, you see a man named Slappy selling maps. But don't buy one. You already got one. Right. Hang a right at Slappy. That's a left, right? A right. Left. Right. Okay. Right. Keep straight. Watch out for the goat. Then you see a big McDonald's and... Right.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Aren't you glad we brought you here?
I'm glad.
I want to put you in a
new GMC Yukon
Denali. No payments ever.
Visit any Red Roof Inn before October 31st and enter to win a new
Yukon Denali. And the price?
I'm giving it away.
No payments ever. Hey, imagine.
Yeah.
I'll do this. A new Yukon Denali from Red Roof Inn.
Plus, you could win a year's worth of AT&T prepaid calling. Every guest gets a free AT&T prepaid call. Call us crazy, but call us today.
And with a smile. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF. Red Roof Inns. Nice people and an honest value.
We have just gone on to our 6th caution of the afternoon, and we also lose another car on the lead lap. Ward Burton was the last car on the lead lap in 17th position and spun down in turn number 4. Here's a replay of what happened to Ward, who has some significant damage on the front end of the car.
There's he goes in the corner, and I don't know what started to spin, but he goes around, and a bunch of guys did a nice job in missing him as he was going around.
Earlier, we saw Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon get together. Here's the replay of that incident.
Coming off of turn 2 is where this happened.
Now watch Jeff.
And the leaders did not pit.
Johnny Benson with some damage to his left front, shredding the tire. Burton, meanwhile, has made it to his backstretch pit stall, as has his brother Jeff, who's pitted right behind him. While we're under caution, another break.
Homeowners, call Garden State Brick Base Windows and Exteriors and get a new house without having to move or spend a fortune. That's right. You can give your home a new look and feel, any look you desire, and it just takes one phone call. For years, we've been beautifying thousands of area homes, making them more energy efficient while increasing their value. Brick, stucco, stone, siding, and windows. Quality craftsmanship, most work done within a week. All maintenance-free and fully guaranteed. Let us help you design the perfect look for your home. Call Garden State Brick Base Windows and Exteriors. To find out if our unique products are right for you, call now for a free telephone consultation. It just takes a few minutes. There's absolutely no obligation. 100% financing available. So why wait when a simple call can get you a great new house without spending a fortune? Call 1-800-253-9700 and ask about our current special discount. Shop from home with our exclusive free telephone consultation. Call 1-800-253-9700.
And the Baltimore fans will be loud. It's the Bengals against the Ravens in an ESPN Sunday Night Football battle.
3 things I know about the helmet camp. Number 1, it was gimmicky. Number 2, it never worked. And number 3, you're an idiot. Now who's playing Tom?
You know, I don't appreciate being called an idiot. Just because you fear technology, that's not my fault. I've been called a lot of things at this table, but an idiot will not be one of them.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Bengals against the Ravens.
I'll be afraid to wear that helmet, Cam. The radio waves might mess up my mind.
It's time to enter NASCAR's Fan Fantasy Weekend Sweepstakes for your chance to play a special part in the NAPA 500 in November. Just call 1-900-26-FANS-WIN by October 1st. Correctly answer 4 NASCAR trivia questions and you're entered for the drawing. Each call costs $1.99 and subject to official rules. 21 or older, please. No purchase or paper call necessary. Just print the answers, your name, address, phone number, and age on a postcard and send to this address, or enter through NASCAR online. 10 winners will be selected at random on October 6th.
Every seat is filled here at Martinsville Speedway as they watch the NAPA AutoCare 500. They race under caution, 301 laps old. Dale Jarrett has a problem. Let's go to Bill Weber in the pit area.
They believe it could be a rocker arm on Dale Jarrett's car. He slowed down the backstretch of the 28, had to push him here. Steve Allen was checking the carburetor, says it could be a rocker arm. They're also checking the battery. Dale Jarrett told his crew the engine made a funny noise, and then it just quit. So now they're going to push the 88 car behind pit wall. So the man that came in here leading the league in short track points, but has never won at this track, will not win here today.
The car came to a stop over on the backstretch. He did get some assistance from his team car. Kenny Wallace is driving the car now for Kenny Irwin, who got out of it earlier. Here comes Wallace up behind it now. This is legal in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. The only time you can't do this is on the last lap, right?
That's correct. The car cannot be aided on the last lap.
Now, during this caution, we did see some cars come in for pit stops, but those who are running up front did not come in. Down to Jerry Punch.
Guys, one of the dangers when cars get together on the short track and wheels rub is that they'll break off these valve stems here, these valve stems on the outside of the wheel. This is Rich Bickle's wheel here. Now, a moment ago, we saw Jeff Gordon have contact on the right rear and the left rear a couple laps later. Why doesn't he have to worry? Let me show you what they've done in the Gordon pit. This is Jeff Gordon's rear wheel getting ready to go on. The outside valve stem has been shut off. They have moved the valve stem to the inside of the middle of the wheel. So if they rub or there's any contact, it can't get to the valve stem. It's protected, so they can have wheel rub without the possible risk of shearing that off and thus possibly losing a lap or losing a championship.
I've always wondered why more teams haven't done that.
Yeah, that is a good point that they take that valve stem inside.
Yep. Well, Sterling Marlin is the leader of the race, and Ricky Rudd is second. Then Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, Ken Schrader, and Bill is with Dale Jarrett.
Well, Dale Jarrett sits in his car behind the pit wall. Brad Parrott leaning in there doing some work behind the driver's seat. He's talking to his crew, getting a drink of water. They're checking the voltage to see if it's getting some power from the battery that's in behind the car. They asked him what the voltmeter read. They wanted to know that information. But right now, Jarrett sits in his car, and they continue to work on the Quality Care Ford. Very disappointing for the man that came in here third in points here this afternoon. So we'll try and get a word with him here in a minute.
Third in points and 337 behind Jeff Gordon in the battle for the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup.
He'll stay third in points because Rusty Wallace was in fourth place in points, and Rusty has had his problems here today as well. They just dropped farther behind the leaders.
We will be going green this time around as everybody lines up two abreast for the restart. Off the racetrack. Here we go once again on lap 306.
Well, Sterling Marlin got a huge advantage. He was able to get in the corner, beat Bobby Labonte in the corner. Ricky Rudd did not beat Bobby Labonte in the corner, so he'll probably end up with a 5 or 6 car length advantage once Rudd gets by. Oh, we got a big mix-up back in the corner.
Whoa. Everybody's okay, though.
Warren Dallenbach. And the hood just came up on the 96 car, Mike Bliss.
Bliss in his first NASCAR Winston Cup race. Wanted indoctrination out. Here he comes down into his pit.
I don't see how he's able to. Oh, I guess he's looking out under the hood there. You can see a little bit.
Former USAC champion and most recently from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's his first Winston Cup start here today.
And you wonder if in that little mix-up that he bumped somebody and sheared the hood pins off and caused that hood to come up.
I would guess that's exactly what happened because I saw him down in the grass.
Because he had not made a pit stop that we know of that they had the hood up, and I don't think they'd have left them all loose anyway. So.
There we see the first three cars, and right now Mark Martin looks to be making a pretty good race of it.
Back things up and look at that incident down in turn number 4.
Well, let's see. There we see the 96 car and the 35 car, and I'm not sure how many of these cars are mixed up in as who got sideways or what, but Joe Nemechek spin. Oh, does a complete 360, and we see that the 96 runs in the back of Darrell, Ned.
Yes, he does, and I'm sure that sheared all the pins that hold the hood down. And he's back in. He came out of the pits, Bliss did, and he's going back in the pits with the hood up once again, so they didn't get it fastened down very well.
Whoa. Serious contact there. Joe Nemechek was on the lead lap, and he still is. He didn't lose a lap. He's the last car on the lead lap in 15th.
He's had a good run here today. He stayed up until that incident pretty clean, and then
here comes Ricky Rudd. Here he comes for the lead. He's there. Oh, Sterling, he's there. Don't turn left because we're going to have a wreck.
Sterling's spotter said inside. He is inside.
And is he going to get the lead? Is he going to lead this lap? Yes, he will, but there's caution on the racetrack. There is caution because of debris on the front stretch. Bill Weber.
Dale Jarrett has climbed out of his car talking to Todd Parrott. I know you're disappointed, Dale. Just tell us what happened.
Looks like it broke a camshaft, so just something very rare. Car was good. We kept making it a little bit better, and right there before that broke, I felt like that was the best the car had been, and we were going to be in pretty good shape. But that's the way it goes. This place isn't too kind to us, but at least we ran good, so that's part of it.
How hot is it out there, Dale?
No, it's pretty warm, but my guys have done a good job of preparing my car, and the air conditioning that I had, the cool air blowing in was feeling pretty good, and they kept me plenty to drink. So still warm, but when you have a good car, it's not too bad.
We'll see you at Charlotte.
Okay.
Well, good. I've really been concerned about those guys out there today, and just I'm glad to hear that report from DJ and all the conditions on the racetrack. So,
Ben, you and I were down there in their stall this morning, and they were in the process of putting an engine in the car. They changed yesterday before the happy hour. DJ didn't like the way the car came off the corner, and so they put another engine in, one that they plan to run in Charlotte next week, which said had a lot of horsepower. There's the debris that reason for this caution. And anyway, now Betty wishes he had that other engine back in there, but you never know those things.
That is racing, isn't it? Okay, we'll take another break from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where Rudd now has the advantage.
Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Oh yeah, here and God are gonna make it. Born to be wild, born to be wild.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. All the coal-cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Power you can count on when you need it most. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
Who's that
Grandma?
That would have been your great-uncle Floyd. About 65 years ago, he was playing hide-and-seek with his friends. And they never found him.
If you're gonna play to win,
Nobody found me.
play to win. If you're gonna have roast beef, have roast beef. Hardee's tender roast beef, specially seasoned, oven roasted, fresh sliced to order.
You're gonna go? Come on out.
We welcome you back live to Martinsville Speedway, Virginia. ESPN Speed World coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500 being brought to you by ESPN Video. Get your officially licensed NASCAR videos from ESPN Video. By EverStart Battery, all the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. And by Hardee's. Go all out. Once again, from high overhead, Martinsville Speedway, we are about to go back to the green flag. We're on lap 317. We're under caution, or just about to end this caution period. It came out on lap 305. This is what happened.
Joe Nemechek spun, and really that didn't cause the cars flag. The green flag set up for a few more laps, but there was so much debris for all these cars making contact, they finally had to throw the caution flag, and the hood flies up on Mike Bliss's car, leaves him no visibility. But there was so much debris, and Ned pointed out as we're going to break that, I don't know, some kind of bar that fell off and was on the front straightaway.
But we're ready to go racing again now.
Yes, we are. Pace car about to pull in, and Ricky Rudd at the front of the field.
15 cars still on the lead lap.
Bobby Labonte, that car to the right as they come down. One lap down in 16th, but he'll not get the lap back right here.
Now, Ricky Rudd got the same advantage that Sterling Marlin got the last time. He was able to clear the lap car of Labonte. Sterling Marlin was not.
So it has given Rudd a huge lead. Their 4 or 5 car lengths is huge.
Yeah, right. 6/10 of a second. Pennzoil Copter Cam, thanks guys for the shots from overhead. Oh, they get jammed up here going through 3 and 4. Check out the Bud race recap. Ricky Rudd is the leader. He has led 60 of the 321 laps, but Sterling Marlin has led the most. We've had 6 lead changes and 7 caution periods, totaling at the moment 52 laps. Here are the drivers who have picked up 5 bonus points for leading a lap. And as far as attrition is concerned, we only have 1 car off the track. That is Jeff Bodine, and just a couple of cars out of the race, namely Dale Jarrett and Kenny Wallace. And remember, Wallace now is in relief of Kenny Irwin. Again, we keep you up to date on what's going on in the world of baseball. It's 2-2 Expos and Cardinals as Chad Little spins over in turn number 2, stacking everybody up, and Todd Bodine is stalled and now finally gets the car going. We're going to have another caution. It's 2-2 Expos and Cardinals. Mark McGuire is 1 for 1. So very quickly we go back to caution the 8th time of this race. McGuire is not up to bat yet. He is on deck. We'll show you when he comes up. No reason to go anywhere else. Stay with us on the worldwide leader in sports. We'll keep you up to date. Whoa, look like Ernie and Mike may have a little bit of a disagreement out there, huh?
That's Ernie Irvin and Mike Skinner.
Yeah, they've been doing that for about the 3/4 of a lap.
Well, let's see, there's Ernie. Yeah, hits him a little bit.
Going down the corner, and he runs in the back of Chad Little. Now they're all trying to stop. They finally all get by, with the exception of Todd Bodine, who has to stop. Okay, he stops, but we see Chad Little going back in the John Deere Ford Taurus.
Wow. Rusty just made it through. There is Todd Bodine. If he didn't hit him, he came very, very close. On board now with Rusty. This ought to be good.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. That's close.
Down to Jerry Punch.
Well, 4 tires on Ernie Irvin's Skittles Pontiac. They're pulling some of the sheet metal away from the left front tire. Basically, all 4 corners of this Pontiac are bent up. There are marks down the left side. The left front fender was bent in. The left fender right behind the left front tire was bent in. They changed 4 tires and pulled it out. Looks like mostly cosmetic damage. He is away without losing a lap. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Brett Bodine came down pit road, and he got 4 tires. He was running inside the top 10. Obviously, he gives up track position, but that could be a calculated gamble for them. They can go maybe 150 laps, and we have 326 on the board. So they might be in a situation, if this thing stays green, where they'll be able to pick up track position, or perhaps late in the race, just make a 2-tire stop. Obviously, they can't go to the end on fuel, but you never know what's going to happen in the last 50 laps here at Martinsville. 36 back on pit road. Heading for you, Jerry.
All right, back in his pits now. They're going to do a little more cosmetic work. They're looking at the sheet metal where there was contact a moment ago with he and Mike Skinner. There's been some contact. It is the final short track race of the year, so you expect to have some rubbing. Just rubbing is racing, and now they pull sheet metal away, and Ernie is gone.
Mark McGuire stepping to the plate. 2 outs in the inning. It's 2-2. He's 1 for 1. At a single earlier that we showed you. We are under caution here. What a year he's had, and it's just given baseball a whole new lease on life.
Oh, it's phenomenal what he and Sosa have done.
Looking for home run number 69. That was a little outside.
You know, it's amazing. You know, Jeff Gordon, they still haven't checked. And again, evidently there's nothing wrong with a toe-in, toe-out on that DuPont Chevrolet because right now there's still 14 cars on the lead lap, and I'm sure that they're just concerned about giving away all that track position. Remember early, just the second and third lap of the race, he and Ernie Irvin made some contact, and
it was very early in the race, and like you say, if there was something wrong, they certainly would have fixed it by now.
He's
Well,
swinging.
one swing, all right.
Uh-oh.
69!
They came to see if he could do it one more day, and as usual for the St. Louis fans, Mark McGuire delivers. One of the tough things this year has been being the next hitter after something like this.
Well, you mentioned the breaking ball, and he finally threw one somewhere around the plate. Mark McGuire unleashes. Look at that. Just tremendous, awesome power. He has amazed us all year. What a fitting.
And that's the tail end of a second curtain call. McGuire, 69 homers, 144 RBIs. That blast puts the Cardinals on top 3-2. Very similar to the ball he hit Friday night. A towering fly ball just below Big Mac land. Bill Pito, we've called it chasing history. He's adding on to history now.
We're back at Martinsville, and we salute Big Mac. Mark McGuire with his 69th home run. Way to go. This is the Big Mac car that's being driven here at Martinsville by Bill Elliott.
And we're still under caution flag. No, not that long caution flag. We threw the green flag And they made a half lap.
Yep, less than a lap, and we went back to caution, and this is what happened.
Coming off of turn 2, Jimmy Spencer right on the back bumper of Mike Skinner in the car number 31, and right beside of Jeff Gordon. They're going to, and Skinner, the back end gets loose, and Spencer taps him, spins him on around, and the field goes by. Nobody else hits him.
Wow. It's 1-0 in Chicago, as Houston rather, as the Cubs lead, and Sosa is now up. So Mike Skinner.
Now he was I guess he's still just one lap down, but he was in the 16th position.
And obviously Chad Little,
well, that was because of the crash. Evidently he ran in the back of someone and knocked an oil line off or something, and he had to take the John Deere car, I'm sure, behind the wall to try to cure that problem.
Sammy Sosa, who's hitting right now, is 1 for 1. He had a single earlier. Mark McGwire's home run coming just moments ago while we were under caution, and we still are, with Sammy up to bat now. 333 laps are completed here at Martinsville, but we have been slowed recently because of a couple of cautions.
Hit it, Sammy.
You know, the way that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire have handled this whole home run derby has been phenomenal.
It really has.
Yeah, you really hate to see either one of them be behind the other at the end, but because they are such great players and the way they've handled it.
Count goes to 2-2 on Sammy.
Certainly has done a lot for baseball this year.
It certainly has. See Ward Burton making a pit stop, and we go down to Bill Weber.
Wally Dallenbach sits in the Budweiser Chevy behind pit wall, window net up. They are changing the radiator, so another overheating problem, this time for a Chevrolet. So Wally Dallenbach losing laps while it sits behind the wall. 3-1 the count on Sammy Sosa.
Wally had a very good run going in the early part of this race, but now sits behind the wall as the crew works on the radiator.
And Chad Little is also behind the wall.
And so is Brent Bodine. Brent was having a great run here today, and all of a sudden he's behind the wall.
Let's go to John Kernan as Sammy strikes out.
And I guess you might say the same thing for Chad Little, who's behind the wall right now. Just a lot of oil underneath the hood. We saw what happened just a little bit earlier. What happened this time?
Well, all I saw was just people slowing down really quick and, you know, a big pile up. And I ran in the back of somebody really hard. I mean, it took care of our radiator and our oil cooler. It's about up to the carburetor. We'll certainly fix it and get back out, but I don't know what happened. It's unfortunate, you know, we got involved in somebody dynamiting the brakes earlier, and as you can see, you know, the car was pretty good, and we just, it's track position, that's the key, and we got back there where we probably shouldn't have been, and it's Martinsville. It's unfortunate because we had a string of some good races going, but we'll get it fixed and get back out there and do what we can for points.
Let's go to the front stretch and Dr. Jerry Punch. Well, that's what's led to the front of the paychecks forward of Brett Bodine, who had a great qualifying effort, started 11th and was having a great run. Brett, what was your involvement in that mess up there?
Well, it looked like they just, you know, someone got sideways off the 2 and bottlenecked up on the back straightaway, and they just couldn't get stopped. You know, it's a shame. The car was running real well. We weren't as good as we thought we were going to be, but we couldn't ever get ourselves track positioned. And, you know, that one there really hurt us, being way that far back. But we'll try to get it fixed and get out there with the paychecks forward and go get them in Charlotte next week.
All right, they're changing the radiator in the front of this car. Jerry Kennedy and company trying to get the paychecks forward back on the racetrack. It's the final short track race of the year. Action you couldn't believe. Back with more in a moment.
Is there anything else, an only real thing to do? Anything else I need except cold and you? No, there's nothing else that'll do besides Coca-Cola. There's only you. Come on, give me a Coke, baby. Give me some of that real thing. Come on.
A lot of folks in Johnson City, Tennessee will tell you when you need a part for your car, go to AutoZone. The parts are top quality, the prices are low, and the people are helpful, like Gary Jennings. You see, when it comes to auto parts, folks will tell you Gary really knows his stuff. Oh, sure, they know there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Gary, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
I love lobster. Boiled lobster, broiled lobster, jumbo lobster, baked stuffed lobster, steamed lobster, lobster Newburgh, lobster tail,
There he goes again.
lobster roll, sauteed lobster. Did I mention lobster stew? Boiled
The Cook's Lobster House off the coast of Maine. They'll give you lobster just about any way you want it. But bring your Visa card, because you won't get a bite using American Express.
Sir, any suggestions?
There's boiled lobster.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
This is as close to nature as some people get. But you'll ride all day to get way back in there. Kawasaki's brand new Prairie 300 4x4 and Prairie 300 are designed to be the most comfortable ATVs you'll ever ride. And only the Prairie comes with automatic transmission and Kawasaki's legendary dependability to put miles between you and civilization. Come on in, and then get out. Get $200 of free Cabela's gear or special financing when you buy almost any 98 or 99 Kawasaki ATV.
Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch with you at Martinsville Speedway for the NAPA AutoCare 500. We're under our 7th caution of the afternoon, as we've had a couple of spins of recent note. However, we're expected to go back to racing shortly.
I thought you were starting to go gray.
I was, but I never did.
So what happened, the miracle?
You can't tell?
Tell what?
I use Just for Men.
That's hair color?
Even your barber can't tell you use the hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
I never would have guessed.
Just for Men. So natural, even your barber can't tell.
Cal, sir, I'd like to get my hands on her.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to put her in drive.
Say hello to the Blank Road Dream. Coming to a track near you. Thanks, and enjoy.
You're born, you die. In between, you work on cars. We should all be so lucky.
Now just stay still. Don't move. Okay, now, does it hurt when I do this? Okay, possible torn meniscus. Is there any pain when I do this? Oh, all right. You've dislocated your patella. I'm gonna have to set it. Hang on.
Okay. You are an orthopedic surgeon.
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Alfred, come here. Run across the street. Check out what's going on over at Pizza Hut. Becky, run over to the Pizza Hut. Check on Alfred. Cece, Lou, Victor. Check on Alfred, Becky, Lou. No, you're Lou. Anybody with a yellow shirt.
If you want the most exciting, most outrageous, most mouth-watering pizzas there are, you gotta go to Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
They're not coming back.
Welcome back to Martinsville, where we have gone back to green flag racing. Ricky Rudd leading, Sterling Marlin running in 3rd place as Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, and Terry Labonte is in 5th. Now, there are 13 cars on the lead lap, and 2 of those, namely Terry Labonte and Steve Park, are pitting on the backstretch.
See Terry Labonte as he's being pressured by the 99 car of Jeff Burton. Rich Bickle once again still back in 6th spot.
Rich has hung in there all day in the Thornapple Valley Ford at Cale Yarborough.
Oh, Gordon wiggles coming off the corner.
I used to say Food Lion on the rear bumper of Bobby Labonte's car. There's so much rubber on it, now you can't read anything. There we can, I guess you can see Food Lion there.
Bobby went a lap down pretty early on a long run in the early part of this race. Never been able to get it back, but hasn't lost another lap. Jeff runs up tight there against Bobby Labonte.
Meanwhile, up front, it's still Rudd, but just about a half a car length or maybe a full car length advantage on Sterling Marlin, and not too far back. In fact, less than a second back is Mark Martin.
You know, these caution flags we've had have just been an absolute godsend for these drivers because of the heat and everything else. During the caution flag periods, the car is not as hot as it is under racing conditions because you're not accelerating, you're not to get the engine as hot. The exhaust is able to cool off, and they've been able to relax just a little bit on the caution flags. Otherwise, had it not been for these caution flags.
There's Bobby Labonte going around Mark Martin. Mark didn't fight it. He wants to go up there and see if he can get his lap back.
Neither Mark Martin nor Jeff Gordon has led a lap so far today. The lap leaders have been Marlin, Rudd, Andretti, and Urban. Sterling Marlin leading 206 laps the most.
Now we see Wally Dallenbach coming from behind the wall, going back out on the track, but he is many, many laps down.
And Ricky Rudd, you know what can you say about the guy? And look here, Jeff Gordon up trying to race, trying to get by Mark Martin. Wow. Mark don't want to look up in there and see that 6 car because he's hot. He's run hard. He's run pretty good at this old racetrack today. And son of a gun, looks up in his mirror and there's the 24 car. That means if he stays there, he's gained 5 points.
That's right, just a 5-point increase.
And if he passes me, I've lost another 5 points.
Another car that's come back on the track is Jeff Bodine. He's been out for a long time after losing a wheel and breaking his spindle.
Who's fast out there. Boy, look at Rich Bickle. How about that? Mark second quick, and Bobby Hamilton third. Hamilton is still on the lead lap in 9th.
Bobby Hamilton had a lot of trouble earlier on in the race. Lost a plug wire came off or something, was on 7 cylinders. They stopped on the very first caution flag and raised the hood and was able to fix it well enough that he's now. And we see Rick Mast going behind the wall smoking. Looks like it's terminal for him.
Probably a gear. Well, we hear that it's an engine instead of gear on the 75 with Rick Mast.
And Marlin is now all over Ricky Rudd.
Yes, he is.
Drivers needing wins very badly. It's been a long time since Marlin has won, and Rudd, of course, as we've talked about, trying to keep his long win streak alive. And this might be his best shot of the year doing it.
Sterling's last victory came at Daytona, Pepsi 400. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd has won a race, at least one race, in the last 15 years. 4 of those wins have come with 7 or less races to go, and he did win very late in last year's competition.
No, last year he won the Brickyard, which was in August.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And then won again at Dover. Yep. But the year before that, it was very late. And in fact, the 2 years before that, I think both of them were late in the year.
Here's a Hardee's Field summary showing you the Bobby Labonte gaining a point position right now.
Bobby Labonte sees he's catching him a little bit. Said, well, maybe I can get up there and pass those guys and have another caution. I'll be back on the lead lap.
Terry Labonte and Bobby Hamilton battling for 7th position. And Bill Elliott also looking on.
And Terry just moves to the inside of the racetrack and gives those cars the outside. Said, you can pass me out there, guys. Just go ahead and do it. I'm still just trying to keep my car intact and riding around here and staying on the lead lap.
Right now, Jeff Burton's been able to get by the 24 car of Jeff Gordon and move into the 4th spot.
He's right up on him. In fact, he's moving by Mark Martin as we see this battle back in the field. Burton just moved around Mark Martin and took over 3rd.
Up front, it is a very tight race between Rudd and Marlin. 361 laps are completed on a hot and humid day in Martinsville, Virginia. There, the top 10 will be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
This could be you. Drive a Winston Cup car. Call for details. Race Fans Collectibles of Brick, a proud sponsor of Bethanis Racing in Wall, is geared up for the 1998 NASCAR season in full stride. Celebrate 50 years of NASCAR at 770 Mantoloking Road and find the finest items available to date, including apparel, flags, stickers, diecast, and much more. We have a complete line of Racing Champions, Revell, and Action diecast, the most limited edition of collectibles of your favorite driver. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Call now.
Isn't it amazing how fast kids outgrow their hockey equipment? At Play It Again Sports, we'll buy that old equipment and sell you something in a better size. For used sports equipment of all kinds, and even new sporting goods, visit your nearby Play It Again sports store. Our equipment may be used, but it's not used up.
Play It Again Sports, now with 2 locations to serve you. Call today.
Worlds of rock and golf are the crowd and the performer brought so close together. Where else can you reach out and touch a star? It reminds me of the crazed Bay City Roller fans, grabbing at the band's kilts, screaming their spleens out. Now let's juice this sucker up.
It's just about 3:30 Eastern Time, and if you're just joining us, welcome to the NAPA AutoCare 500 that is being led right now by Sterling Marlin. He was able to get around Ricky Rudd just a couple of laps ago, and upcoming is Jeff Burton. He's up to 3rd.
Man, oh man, is he on the move.
Did we hear something there that is Sterling Marlin having a problem?
It looks like he is.
Bill Weber.
Yeah, he called in. They had a hiccup, and Tony Glover told him probably the ignition, swap the boxes. Sterling hasn't said anything since. We'll keep listening.
Because he had pulled away a little bit from Ricky Rudd after he passed him, and then Rudd ran right back up on him there for a couple of laps. Jeff Burton trying to pass on the outside. That didn't work.
Look how quickly Jeff Burton in 3rd position has closed the interval up to the leader.
Yeah, look at that 21-0 every lap except that last one, and that was when he ran in traffic with Ricky Rudd. And we see that Sterling Marlin 21-2 was the best lap that he ran. So right now, Jeff Burton clearly faster than these 2 cars.
And he has taken 2nd spot away from Ricky Rudd on the outside. The 18 of Bobby Labonte is running well. He's a lap down in 13th.
Right now is Steve Park, who's encountered some problems. He is slowing down. John, you have any idea what's going on with Park?
I just talked to his crew chief, Felipe Lopez. He says he thinks they've got a battery going down. In fact, the crew has a brand new battery sitting on the pit wall. They're hoping for a caution to come in the next few laps to get him in here and get that battery changed. But right now, Park continuing to lose spots out on the racetrack. At least crack position, I should say.
Jeff Gordon and Rich Bickle both passed by Mark Martin. That puts Mark back to 6th position. On board with Steve Park and the Tabasco Hot Zone telemetry.
Check that RPM. 8,800. That's pretty good. And we see it drops down to 5,300 in the straightaway. Making decent horsepower, but on the racetrack he certainly is losing some time. We see that he isn't on that brakes Very much. Trying to save those brakes all he possibly can. And, folks, I think that the heat is finally getting to Ricky Rudd.
We heard a report very early in the race that Rudd was having problems with the heat. Hut Strickland is still standing by to come in to relief drive for Rudd if necessary. Jerry, what's the situation?
Well, you know, it's sort of a catch-22. They want to know how Ricky is. And Ricky has asked him not to talk to him because it takes every bit of energy he has to concentrate and drive the car. He says, don't talk to me. I can't talk to you. I don't have enough breath to talk to you. I'm doing the best I can. Because they have not spoken to him since the caution flag, the green flag came back out.
Well, Rudd is struggling right now. He has fallen back to third position.
And is losing ground to this duo, and you can see the 99 car of Jeff Burton has caught up to Sterling Marlin.
Jeff Burton has not led yet today. Marlin, Rudd, Andretti, and Irvin so far the only 4 leaders in the race so far, and we're 378 laps into the 500 that make up the NAPA AutoCare 500. Back in just a moment. Sterling Marlin leading.
Introducing the Midas battery. Now for just $49.99 with rebate. Batteries. Brand new from Midas.
Still going. I've had marriages that didn't last this long.
We asked professional race car driver Scott Pruitt to test our Firehawk SH30 high-performance tires with Unit T. Unit T, the ultimate tire technology we've spent years perfecting. In fact, when it comes to designing performance tires for wet cornering, we've been around the block. The Firestone Firehawk SH30 with Unit T. Get a grip on wet cornering.
I believe I can call. I think I'll use the phone in the hall.
I call my friends Gas PK with 5 cent Sundays from MCI.
My Space Jam buddies and I stay in close touch with MCI's 5 cent Sundays.
Just 5 cents a minute.
Every minute. Every Sunday.
Along with low weights, low rates all week long. Call 1-800-Sundays to become an MCI customer.
I believe I can call.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
ESPN Speed World today is at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, but coming up, our next NASCAR Winston Cup coverage will start on Friday, October 9th, Bud Pull qualifying at Talladega. The Arcabondo Marhide Series race Saturday the 10th at 3:30, and our happy hour coverage will be at 12:30 a.m. on the Deuce. Then on Sunday the 11th, RPM today at noon, NASCAR today at 12:30, the Winston 500. Another No Bull 5 race will be at 1 o'clock on Sunday, October the 11th. And a great battle going on here between Sterling Marlin and Jeff Burton. Marlin has clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, but it looks like his lead is in jeopardy here with Burton.
And this will be the first time that Burton has led today, isn't it?
Yes. And Jeff Burton takes that Excise batteries board to the front.
How about that? Jeff becomes our 5th leader of the day, but again, remember, neither Jeff Gordon nor Mark Martin has led a lap today.
Right now, Martin has dropped back to 8th position, to 7th position, make that.
Gordon is running 4th. Jeff Burton, you'll remember, won this race last year, finished 32nd here in the spring.
And look at Jeff Burton on the corner and just go wide and back in front goes Sterling Marlin. Yeah, what was that all about? Here comes Rusty Wallace. Several laps down, trying to get a lap back. And what is up with Burton there? Man.
Rusty has already made up 2 laps today. He's got a fast race car. He was 17 laps down. When he makes this pass, he will only be 14 laps down.
Behind him, let off. Down, clear low.
Now Burton challenges back. Here he comes again to try to take the lead from Marlin.
Clear all around, clear low. Coming back inside.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, he's not clear low, because here comes Jeff Burton just driving up on the inside, and Bobby Labonte as well.
Bobby still trying to get a lap back. Boy, Burton goes high again.
We'll get it better.
Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd has joined back up. I thought that he was getting to Ricky, but I guess his car just was, the chassis just went away for a little bit, and now it's coming back to him.
Rudd goes to the inside of Marlin in turns 3 and 4, looking for second place.
Yeah, I think that Jeff Burton has fresher tires on than these 2 cars. I think that he stopped and changed 4 tires.
That's all you mind, Startle. Just save you a little bit left for the last 50 laps. Go high. Clear low.
Tony Glover told him to save a little bit here for those last 50 laps. We still have over 100 to go.
Good boy, gather back up. Let's get back to him. You can do it.
Burton's a 2-time winner in '98. New Hampshire and in Richmond.
Oh, he thought hit the wall coming up through.
And Bobby Labonte has gotten back on the lead lap. I wonder what's going on with Jeff Burton.
Yeah.
Is it heat that's gotten to him, or what is going on there?
He hit the wall as he came off turn 2. The back end jumped out.
Or is this the car gotten that bad for him right here? It was awfully good to get him up there.
Well, he has come into the lead earlier than he did last year. He led only 92 laps a year ago, including the last 21. He took the lead from Rusty on lap 479 last year and led the rest of the way. And as Ned indicated, we don't we're not at the 400 lap mark yet, and he is in the lead. Now Jeff Gordon comes up to challenge Marlin and will take the position. There obviously is something wrong with Sterling.
Our spotter, one of our spotters says the car doesn't sound right when he comes by. We talked about that.
Stay on the lead lap as long as you can. We'll try to get a yellow.
Okay, they do have a problem, it looks like. Maybe that ignition that they switched to, maybe it's giving way, because there's, when they change, let's go to Bill Weber. He has an explanation for what might be happening here.
Well, I'll certainly give it a try. First of all, the engine is starting to miss. They told us there is a miss in the engine. The second thing is they have swapped ignition boxes because they thought that might be part of the problem. Now, a couple of things. One, those ignition... As he runs into Mark Martin, those ignition boxes are very susceptible to heat. And if they're placed in a bad spot, or even on a hot day like this, your ignition boxes will start to fail. The other thing is that second ignition box does not have a rev limiter chip in it. They've warned him about that so it doesn't over-rev the car. But right now it appears the biggest problem is they're just not making any power.
You saw Bill Elliott able to get around Mark Martin, so put Elliott up in 6th position as Marlin continues to fall off the pace. Here is Rich Bickle battling with Jeff Gordon for 3rd spot.
And Bobby Hamilton has caught them in the number 4 Kodak car. Well, this has been a long move towards the front for Bobby Hamilton, but he's making waves here now as Bickle goes into the 4th position, the 3rd position make that.
And Bobby Hamilton takes over the 4th position, put Jeff Gordon back to 5th.
You see, Bobby Hamilton has been as low as 43rd. Benny mentioned earlier that he had an ignition problem earlier, and here's Steve Park, one of the cars that was on the lead lap in the pits, John.
Well, I think what they're going to do is change the battery, yes. They take that left rear tire off. They'll go to the plate that covers the battery compartment, and also an alternator belt. They're going to check under the hood. They think possibly the 4 Bobby Hamilton, the 98 of Rich Bickle, side by side. The hood goes up on Steve Park, checking the alternator belt. They think they may have lost the alternator belt, and they will change batteries. The engine is shut off as Steve Park sits in the pits.
Well, Steve had given it a good run today, stayed on the lead lap until just a couple of laps ago, and now we're less than 100 from the end of the race. It's a half-second lead that Jeff Burton enjoys over Ricky Rudd, with Bickle running third, then Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon the top 5. 12 cars on the lead lap. Back with more live coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500 in a moment.
I feel a presence. Harold, is that you?
I'm looking for Pine Street.
Go down to the fork in the road. Right, but make sure you take the left fork. Right. Then you see a big brown dog. Keep straight. 2 blocks down the street, you see a man named Slappy selling maps. Well, don't buy one. You already got one. Right. Hang a right at Slappy. That's a left, right? A right. Left. Right. Okay. Right. Keep straight. Watch out for the goat. Then you see a big McDonald's and...
Right. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Aren't you glad we brought you in?
I'm glad.
As a sponsor of the Fan Tour, the Money Store's offering a $500 cash rebate on home equity loans. It's the Money Store 500 rebate. It's a great way to get rid of bills and cut expenses. And now you can get an extra $500 cash when you get your loan from the Money Store. If you're a homeowner, call 1-800-LOAN-YES now and ask for the Money Store 500 rebate.
I won.
But only if you call the Money Store.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
A lot of folks in Johnson City, Tennessee will tell you when you need a part for your car, go to AutoZone. The parts are top quality, the prices are low, and the people are helpful, like Gary Jennings. You see, when it comes to auto parts, folks will tell you Gary really knows his stuff. Oh, sure, they know there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Gary, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
A new leader at Martinsville for the 4th time today. Ricky Rudd has gone back to the front, and Mark McGuire is about to hit again as the Expos and the Cardinals battle. Jeff Burton lost the lead, and in fact, he is back to 3rd position now as Bobby Hamilton has come to 2nd. This is what happened to Jeff when he lost the lead.
He was coming off of turn 4, Bob, and all of a sudden the back end just gets loose on him. Boy, he does a good job of holding on. In fact, I shouted, we were on commercial, I said, he's spinning out, but it didn't quite spin out.
Now from onboard Bobby Labonte's car.
He just going in the corner and says, boy, this is nice. What a nice, oh, mercy. He didn't have time to back off the throttle. What's going on with the 99 car, Bill?
Benny, I think Jeff Burton is just exhausted. The crew continues to talk to him, encouraging him, telling him, run your line, be smooth, you'll be all right. There's only 690 laps to go. But he doesn't really respond. The car seems to be handling all right. I just believe Jeff Burton is physically drained at this point.
Very understandable. It has been so hot and humid here today. Dr. Jerry Punch has more.
We couldn't understand which driver said it on the scanner, but a moment ago, to add to what Bill was saying, one driver pulled up beside the 99 after that incident and looked over and said, that guy is worn out. That he's sort of leaning over in the seat, referring to Jeff Burton as he came by. And Jeff sat back up and then grabbed the steering wheel and drove in the corner. But these guys have unbelievable today in this heat to endure over 400 laps here at temperatures of well over 125 degrees inside that race car.
Well, we've only got 85 more laps to go. It may sound like a lot, but it will go by very quickly without any cautions. Mark McGuire has walked as the Expos and the Cardinals are tied at 3-3. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd, who's another one of those guys who is just hanging on physically, has almost a second advantage over Bobby Hamilton.
But Hamilton has cut down what he was over 4 seconds behind, and now has cut it down to about a second.
And Bobby Labonte there, remember, he got back on the lead lap briefly, but as you can see, he is now a lap down once again. As there are 11 cars on the lead lap, and the driver who was in front just a few minutes ago is now the last car on the lead lap. That, of course, is Sterling Marlin. But he has led the most laps here today. Ricky Rudd, who's the current leader, is adding to his total, which now stands at 115.
They come from all over for the most agonizing test of endurance motorsports has to offer. The heavyweight championship of off-road racing, the legendary Baja 1000. Mile after mile of unforgiving terrain that can send even the toughest truck to an early grave, which means it can really be murder on a battery. That's why more drivers who tackle the Baja rely on the Duralast battery than any other. The same Duralast we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
This is no ordinary leather jacket.
Because when you put it on, you're not just saying you're a NASCAR fan.
You're saying you care about kids. Buy the Exide NASCAR Select battery in 1998 and get the special 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket for just $150.
And on behalf of NASCAR fans everywhere, Exide will donate all profits to Give Kids the World Foundation.
The special edition 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Nice jacket.
Synthetic motor oil. Even at 35 degrees below zero, nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
My dad taught me what it means to be a true fan. What it means to come out and give 110%. Right, Dad? Yeah! I'm more the quiet type. Oh, yeah! Well, the cold doesn't bother me so much. It's the chili dogs. Oh, that's why I bring out the Rolade.
Rolade starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
Just like Grandpa always says, you gotta be your best out here.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
Mom doesn't make it out to the games. I don't know why.
Coming in, guys. Look, Bill's in trouble.
Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here.
Go, 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 go.
Here!
Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
Tonight at 7:30, Chris Berman and Tom Jackson have all the highlights of all the day's NFL games on prime time, and that takes you right up to 8:15 and ESPN Sunday Night Football as Jermaine Lewis leads the Baltimore Ravens against Corey Dillon and the Cincinnati Bengals in an AFC Central showdown. Then on ABC's Monday Night Football, Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions defend their home turf in an NFC Central battle with Warwick Dunn and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8 o'clock Eastern. ABC and ESPN, your exclusive networks for prime-time NFL football. We are under caution once again here at Martinsville.
Sterling Marlin's car finally gave up the ghost and came to a stop on the backstretch, almost identical to Dale Jarrett's car 100 laps or so ago. And he was given a push by Jeff Green into the pits, but not before NASCAR had to throw the caution flag.
And during the cautions, we had pit stops, and this is what happened.
There you see the leader, Ricky Rudd, coming in. Bobby Hamilton running second. He stops the first. Jeff Burton will come to a stop. See the right side going up on Hamilton's car, Burton's car. Rudd finally gets to his pits. Here comes Jeff Gordon in. Other car still coming in. Never see the 40 car getting the push from Jeff Green. Ernie Irvin finally is coming down the number 1 pit. Now, by the time Ernie gets to his pit, Bobby Hamilton will get ready to leave. There we see Hamilton leave. And there's a tire that he was pushing, I guess. And look at all the positions that Hamilton loses on pit road.
He's going to be back at about 7th position on the restart.
Well, he has to back up because he was too close to the car in front of him, which was Kenny Schrader.
And that sent the tire on pit road. Down to Bill Weber.
Okay, for the 99 car, 4 tires and a round and a half of wedge. For Jeff Burton, they gave him a heat shield for his feet. They gave him ice to stick inside his suit. They told him to keep his hand out the window to get more air in there and to stay cool. The green is out. Here's Jerry.
Ricky Rudd, 4 tires and 17.4 seconds. The 24 car of Rudd, 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment, for Gordon. Said the car was loose in the middle of the corner. The 98 car for Rich Bickle, 4 tires and no adjustment whatsoever. Let's check in with John Kernan.
For Terry Labonte, no chassis adjustments, an air pressure adjustment, and 4 tires here on the backstretch. One other note, Kenny Irwin has been released from the infield care center. He's okay. In fact, he's put his suit back on. He's resting in the truck, but he can't go back in the car. Kenny Wallace needs him. And we hadn't covered this, but quite a few laps ago, Jerry Nadeau, after resting, has got back into his car, and he's back out there on the racetrack.
Kenny Wallace in substitution for Kenny Irwin is running in 27th position, some 12 laps down.
See, Ricky Rudd still continues to lead this thing, and 2 cars between, 2 lap cars between himself and the second place car, Jeff Gordon. Bill Weber.
Earlier in this race, Ted Musgrave told us how his seat got very hot, and so did he. Well, that's a similar problem now for the 99 car. That heat shield they gave Jeff Burton was basically to protect his backside to help deflect some of the heat away from his body. Mark Martin has told his crew he has a similar problem. Also, remember, before the race, Mark told us he was going to save himself for the end because he knew there'd be a lot of tired drivers the last 100 laps.
Sammy Sosa steps to the plate as you see the activity there in the world of baseball earlier today. Mark McGwire hit his 69th. It's 3-1.
Play with the Chicago Cubs, top of the 5th. This is in Houston as Sosa steps in the pitch. He hits it.
Drove the center fielder back to the warning track, but he was able to gather it in, and so Sosa fails on another attempt in the home run chase.
Mark Martin has moved up to 4th spot. He was able to get by Jeff Burton. There we see Rich Bickle. What a terrific run for Cale Sciarro's team today, the Thornapple Valley Ford Taurus. A terrific run for Bickle.
Rich Bickle's best finish this year was in August at Bristol. He finished 18th, so it's definitely his best run of 1998. But Mark Martin has positioned himself to the inside of Rich as they hurry down into turn number 1, and Bickle's going to go back to 4th.
And Skip Eiler, the crew chief, new crew chief on the 98 car, I know he has to be pleased with the way things are going today.
That 98 car has got a few battle scars on it.
And so does the 99 car. The whole left side of that is showing some really significant body damage.
But this is Martinsville.
That's right. You expect that here. So Ricky Rudd is beginning now to pull away from Jeff Gordon. We timed 5 laps, laps 428 to 432, and the advantage went from a 0.9 to a 1.7.
Look at those speeds. Look at that 20.9 for Ricky Rudd. Seems like that, whatever they gave Ricky Rudd on that pit stop is certainly helping, because that's some of the fastest times we've seen all day. And Jeff Gordon still has another lap car between himself and the leader, Ricky Rudd.
A very good run by Bill Elliott. Remember last week, Matt Kenseth gave this car such a great run as Bill was attending the funeral of his father. But Bill is giving it a good run here this afternoon. He's currently in 6th position, and that is the highest that he has been. Ken Schrader also having a good run. He's behind Bobby Hamilton. Schrader is 8th.
Todd Bodine back there in the back of the 91 car, still a lap down only one lap down from the 91 car in 13th spot.
And he's racing the 26 car of Johnny Benson, which has a lot of damage to it also, but he's in 12th position. Benson is.
On board with Rusty Wallace, who again is 14 laps down. He has made up a couple since he had to go in for a long repair on a broken radiator. All kinds of modes of transportation in and around the Martinsville area. Right here, we have 437 laps completed of the 500 at Martinsville. Back in a moment.
This could be you. Drive a Winston Cup car. Call for details. Race Fans Collectibles of Brick, a proud sponsor of Bethanus Racing and Wall, is geared up for the 1998 NASCAR season in full stride. Celebrate 50 years of NASCAR at 770 Mantoloking Road and find the finest items available to date, including apparel, flags, stickers, diecast, and much more. We have a complete line of racing champions, Revell, and Action diecast, the most limited edition of collectibles of your favorite driver. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Call now.
This customer needs $2,000 this afternoon for an unexpected delivery.
A Sunday delivery?
I've checked her Summit account. The money's there.
Fine. It'll be here waiting for.
Great.
The advantages of supermarket banking.
Summit Bank. Reach higher.
Heard you were here all night?
The business customer had a great opportunity overseas, and payment had to be in a foreign currency.
So you monitored the overnight markets to get the best exchange rate.
Exactly.
So much for banker's hours.
Summit Bank. Reach higher.
It's the ultimate shootout, the MLS playoffs, one great game after another. The conference semifinals, Miami Fusion at DC United, Wednesday at 8 on ESPN.
So get ready for ESPN Sunday Night Football. It's the Bengals against the Ravens in an ESPN Sunday Night Football battle. ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8:15.
Now that sounds exciting.
Back at Martinsville, where the caution is out once again, the 11th of the afternoon. They had an incident here on the front stretch. Caused a couple of cars to spin. Here's Bobby Hamilton setting things off.
He hits the gas trying to get going again and backs in the wall. And meanwhile, the 28 car gets Kenny Wallace had probably spun trying to avoid Hamilton.
Boy, when you send up that cloud of smoke, it...
And watch all those cars coming down pit road. There we see Sterling Marlin, John Andretti.
And then here comes the leader. And you see Bobby Labonte in the green car as they race down to the start-finish line. They finally get straightened out on the racetrack as Steve Park spins around. But Bobby Labonte barely beat Ricky Rudd back to the line, even though they were on pit road. And so that did put Labonte back on the lead lap.
See, he spun himself out trying to keep from running in the back of his brother, Rusty Wallace. Now watch this. He's getting ready to go. He said, okay, the traffic is clear. Okay, get out of the way. Now we'll try from Rusty Wallace's.
Whoop. 6 cars behind. They get on out of Dodge there pretty quick. And Ernie Irvin and Bill Elliott, Bobby Hamilton all come to the pit. So does Bobby Labonte. Labonte's going to be close to losing the lap. He might be able to stay on the lead lap.
Let's jump on board with Steve Park during this little incident here on the front straightaway.
There, you got one up against the wall on the outside and one down the lower as they come through here. Down, buddy. You slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow down. They're all over the place. Come on.
See, Steve Park was trying to get one of his laps back. That's why his intentions were. There we see where he got tagged in the right rear.
So once again under caution with 444 laps completed. We'll be right back.
75 degrees. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
Log day one on the road,
In the air.
to cover Major League Baseball.
It's the year of the home run, my friends. Jack City. We're watching the big boys launch the long-range missiles over and over again, higher and higher. In fact, this ball right here is a ball that Mark McGuire launched into the propeller of the Bud 1 airship, proving that he is the Red Menace.
Hey, man, call the FAA. These guys are a threat to our airspace.
Thank you. Next.
Howard Sherman. You'll be a fair and impartial juror in this trial?
Yes, sir. I think I can. I think everybody has the right to a fair trial in this country, and innocent until proven guilty. That's my motto.
Excuse.
If you're going to get out of jury duty,
What?
get out of jury duty. If you're going to get a burger, get a burger. The Monster Burger, only at Hardee's. 2 large, juicy patties with the most bacon and cheese you can get.
You gonna go? Go all out.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
We are just about to go back to green again here at Martinsville. Coming off our 11th caution of the afternoon, it's Ricky Rudd leading the show with Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rich Bickle, and Jeff Burton.
Green flag. Clear both sides. Clear both sides.
Ricky Rudd didn't want to see that caution. He was pulling away from Jeff Gordon, as we had seen. Now let's see right on his back bumper now. Will he be able to pull away again?
Bobby Labonte, who, as you pointed out, Ned, during that most recent caution in the race back to the line, did get his lap back. Now, let's go back and take a look at this once again. Bobby Hamilton spins in corner number 4, causing the caution, and then the scramble was to get to the line before Rudd.
And as they come off of turn 4, well, Rudd, he's going to cut down pit road because the spotter said, hey, the track is blocked, go down pit road. Then he gets on pit road and then it slows down. He wasn't sure if he's supposed to speed down pit road under these circumstances. And you can see right there that Bobby Labonte beat him by a nose back to that start-finish line, which runs all the way across pit road.
So Labonte is now in 10th position. There are 11 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton now in 11th. Well, the battle for the Winston Cup Championship here between these two drivers, and they run second and third here this afternoon. Dale Jarrett, by the way, in case you're just joining us, finished 42nd this afternoon, dropping out quite a while ago.
Ricky Rudd already pulled out to a 6/10 of a second lead on Jeff Gordon. Oh, Mark Martin on the curb as he tries to get on the inside, get position on Jeff Gordon. We can see it cost him a car length or so.
Sitter Ernie Irvin finds himself in 8th position. He's in a good battle with Terry Labonte right behind him, and Ken Schrader just ahead of him.
And here comes Bobby Labonte up on the outside of Bill Elliott trying to take over the 9th position. All of those cars right there fighting for position.
With the exception of the 91 of Todd Bodine.
And 3 of Dale Earnhardt. He is 2 laps down in 17th position. And Todd Bodine is 1 lap down in 13th position. He's had a good run today. Bobby did make that pass. Labonte on Bill Elliott on the outside. Now he's going to try his brother up there on the outside. He might be bringing enough to let him go by.
Bobby as he pulls alongside brother Terry.
Well, he's going to run up on Todd Bodine if he isn't careful here. And Todd's running on the outside of the racetrack, and that might take away his strategy. Now Todd pulls to the end.
Whoa! And Ernie Irvin spins sideways down into the grass on the warm-up lane. Let's see if it's going to bring out a caution. Nothing yet.
Well, he's off the racetrack, but he is on that pit road, or the lane where they come off of the backstretch pits, and Ernie's going to go a lap down as the leader comes by. Ricky Rudd comes by. Oh, that's too bad. Ernie had hung in there all day long.
There will be no caution, and Bobby Labonte is in trouble.
Apparently cut a tire down, I would say.
Looks like the left front tire is flat on the Interstate Battery Pontiac. He comes to the fence of the pit crew, stops. Wow. Now we got to get the car up in the air.
He worked for over 300 laps to get that lap back and finally got it back. Bill?
Well, this is over as quickly as it started. He's got new left side tires to pull some of the sheet metal away. Heartbreak for Bobby Labonte. They started good. He got his lap back and cut a tire.
A tough break for Bobby Labonte. Here's the incident that perhaps flattened the tire.
He's coming up on Todd Bodine in the car number 81, and right there they make contact. That was when Ernie Irvin, I guess, spun there and got bumped a little bit, and the tire went down on Bobby Labonte's car right at that instant.
Once again, we'll see it. We see Ernie go in the car, tried to not spin out Kenny Schrader. When he did that, he spun himself out. And now we see when Labonte's tire, left front tire, was flattened.
Here's from the in car, Bobby Labonte. He was going to go on the outside, and then he sees the trouble in front of him, but he hits Todd Bodine just enough to cut that tire down.
Down to Bill Weber.
Here it is, just so it's official. Left front tire, Bobby Labonte's car cut right there. So that'll really ruin your day, sports fans.
Indeed it will. He's down in 14th now, one lap down, so only 9 cars are on the lead lap. We lost both Bobby Labonte and Ernie Irvin from the lead lap cars, so now 9 on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton is running in 9th position. 461 laps complete.
Pepsi presents a Jeff Gordon moment. Since making his Winston Cup debut, Jeff Gordon has won 2 championships. But Gordon was a winner long before he started driving the DuPont Chevrolet. Prior to joining NASCAR, Jeff Gordon won over 600 races and 8 national titles. Among those, the 1990 USAC Midget Championship. Another Jeff Gordon winning moment.
Even at 35 degrees below zero, nothing outperforms Mobil 1. Mobil 1 0W30, superior protection when you start your car.
What sets some people apart? Gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Good. Good. All right. Good. Hold on. Right there. Hey!
Come on, you call yourself Cy Young?
Guys, come on.
Hey, let's go fire some of Steiner. Come on, I got the oranges. Let's go.
ESPN Speed World coverage of the NAPA AutoCare 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, being brought to you by Miller Lite, to remind you to enjoy Miller Lite with friends. By Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. And by the more than 2,500 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. The Pennzoil Copter Cam has been with us throughout the afternoon, offering this overhead view of Martinsville Speedway. They've been with us all year long and will be with us in our remaining events in the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Here's the best battle on the racetrack, it looks like.
It's going to be a better battle in a minute, Bob, because this battle is going to be for first, because Ricky Rudd, I think, needs a caution flag right now. I think he's just totally exhausted. If he can just find something inside to bring him back a little bit for these last 30 laps, but I don't know how he's going to do it. He has been out there boiling for over 400 laps now.
Ooh, and Gordon came very close to hitting the wall off 4.
But Ricky has been holding about a second lead over Gordon, and the last time by it was .97, so that's still almost a second, and he got down under second only when Ricky passed the lap car of Darrell Waltrip. So
Jeff Gordon has led 17 of the last 18 races. He did not lead the second race at Bristol, and he has not led here this afternoon. Neither has Martin. Marlin, Rudd, Andretti, Jeff Burton, and Ernie Irvin have been only 5 leaders so far. And here, yeah.
You saw a moment ago that Bob talked about. Watch this as he comes off the corner and goes up and uses all that racetrack. And I'm talking about all that racetrack.
Every bit of it.
Well, the lead has gone to a second and a third now. Rudd over Gordon.
Somehow Ricky Rudd has pulled down and said, okay, I've got to do this for 30 more laps. Somehow he has done that, because the way he was driving around the racetrack and the way he was going around slow cars, it looked like he was going to crash. And I'm telling you, the guy is he's just exhausted, isn't he, Jerry?
Benny, that would be putting it mildly. He has been fighting this since lap 45, and basically that is over 430 laps to go. He has hung on to this race car. How bad does he want to continue a streak that goes all the way back to 1983? Well, he is not talking to the crew, but Billy Engel, his crew chief, has asked NASCAR to have the paramedics standing by wherever he finishes. If he goes to victory lane, have them there. If he doesn't, wherever that car stops, get someone to Ricky Rudd right away.
A moment ago while we were on commercial, I watched the 10 car, and he passed a slower car and almost ran into him as he passed that car, and it looked up and those guys were gaining on him, and I said, he's just exhausted. He's gone for it. But somehow, some way,
he's just drawing from inner strength, it appears. Pure determination.
We've got 23 laps to go. Here are Rich Bickle and Jeff Burton running 4th and 5th.
Rudd is now 1 1/4 seconds ahead. He passed a car on that last lap and lost just a little bit of the lead that he had. He was a second and a half ahead.
Darrell Waltrip there is 3 laps down in 19th spot. Here is Rudd. We'll get an interval at the line. See if the interval is closing down. 1.19 seconds separates first from second.
And you see that Jeff Gordon was a little bit faster. I'm sorry that Bill Elliott was the fastest car, because he stopped and changed tires on that last caution flag. But Jeff Gordon had the second fastest time. You see Ricky Rudd, of all the 9 cars we're showing, and that time Ricky Rudd gained 6 more hundredths of a second.
That car is really still hooked up, and getting off the corner's good. And when he's out there by himself, he's just able to out-accelerate them off of those turns and pick up a little bit.
1.27 now, yeah.
But he's coming up on some traffic. John Andretti and Kyle Petty are right in front of him, but they'll get out of his way. They won't hold him up.
Less than 20 laps to go. Ricky Rudd is in his 621st NASCAR Winston Cup event.
See, Kyle moves out of the way, gives him plenty of racing room. John Andretti will do the same when he gets up to him.
I see Dale Earnhardt riding around. He has been doing this for several laps, and we're told that his brakes are gone on the Goodwrench Chevrolet, and he's gone to the top of the racetrack to get out of everyone's way and just try to finish the race.
He has dropped back to 19th now. He is 3 laps down.
7 car has retired. That's Jeff Bodine. It has never happened in the modern era. 6 different winners at 6 short track races. It could happen today.
If Ricky Rudd can hang on.
I'm absolutely amazed that he's been able to hang in this long. Jerry Punch?
the agony of a wife. Take a look at Linda Rudd. She's sitting on this box. She knows she has listened to her husband all afternoon. Talk about having trouble breathing, talking about not being able to sit up in the car. A moment ago, she put both hands on her head, and tears came down her cheek from beneath her sunglasses. She knows he hasn't said a word now. It is total silence on the radio. She knows every bit of strength he has, he is trying to hang on for these final 15 laps because he wants it that bad. She has got to be so proud of the effort he has put in today.
There are 15 laps to go. Rudd negotiates slower traffic here at Martinsville as Mark McGuire comes up to bat. It is 3-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Expos and Cardinals 2 out. 2 on. Andretti now between first and second, but Gordon goes to the inside and passes him, so clear track between first and second.
Not much difference in second and third, but now Ricky has opened it up to a 1.48 lead as Gordon had to deal with the lap traffic of John Andretti. Counting them down. It'll be 12 to go when he comes back this time.
70! It is 60 to the count.
Hit gave the Cardinals the lead. This one gives the Cardinals the lead. He's not only been prolific, he's been a clutch hitter.
Congratulations to Mark McGuire, who's hit number 70. We're in the closing laps here at Martinsville. There are 8 laps to go. Can Ricky Rudd hold off Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin and win here in 1998 and extend the winning streak season to 16?
Does he have enough strength to negotiate all of this traffic that he's got to come through in these last few laps?
He started on the outside of the front row next to Ernie Irvin. Ernie is a lap down in 9th spot. Ricky Rudd has led 191 laps so far.
A couple of cars up in front of him that are side by side. He doesn't want to see that. That's Kenny Schrader and Todd Bodine. They're not too far in front of him. There they are, 3 abreast. That's something he certainly don't want to see. Wow.
Which way to go, huh?
Schrader's having some kind of problem with Skoll Chevrolet as well. But now there we see Jeff Gordon coming in the picture and Mark Martin.
But they're also hung up behind Schrader. But it reduced the interval to 3/4 of a second now.
And it looked like Gordon almost hit the curb. He did hit the curb. He got up on it there a little bit, and that helped Ricky Rudd pull away just a little bit more. Now Mark Martin trying to go up on the outside, trying to take over second, but Ken Schrader's up there. That didn't work. Now it's 1.1 seconds that Ricky Rudd has.
And there are less than 4 laps to go. 3.5 to go for Rudd. What an incredible story of courage and stamina here this afternoon in sweltering 90-degree heat and humidity.
And he had a problem with the helmet that he was wearing today that was not allowing him to breathe and not getting the cool air that he needed, or just been sweltering in that car. His wife Linda looks on. How many more laps? Hang on, Ricky.
2 more, Linda. 2 more this time.
He's got a 109, 107 now lead. One car between he and Jeff Gordon. Michael Waltrip is between them. It'll be the white flag this time by. Lots of traffic right in front of Ricky Rudd now.
He's already won twice here at Martinsville, looking for his 3rd win. The white flag is out. Less than a lap to go for Ricky Rudd. But again, he's in heavy traffic. Anything can happen even on the last lap for Rudd. He's halfway around.
I expect his spotters have told him, hey, you can get back there first. Just stay up there. Gordon is closing in, no question. But Rudd will do it.
Ricky Rudd wins the NAPA AutoCare 500 at Martinsville, and there was an incident coming off of corner number 4 for some cars. Ken Schrader is sideways. But in any case, Ricky Rudd has done it for the first time since he won at the Brickyard 400 last year. He comes to victory lane. Bill Weber.
A lot of handshakes down here, and heroic effort by your crew and your driver. How did he do that?
Well, it's more of a heroic deal for Ricky. The car was good all day. He got burned up in that car. Got a new helmet they tried today, and I'm sure we'll go take a look at that. Nothing really worked for him. We had to keep cooling him down all day long. And it just, you know, he done a heck of a job. What more can I say? You know, he wanted it, and that's what I like. I like working with hungry people. When you're hungry, you work harder.
Go to victory lane.
Thank you.
His 20th career win for Ricky Rudd. But there was an incident on corner number 4.
Coming off the corner, and you're going to start seeing cars spin as they come off the corner. They ever see Schrader going around? Ernie Irvin, the pole sitter, also has some damage to his Skittles Pontiac on the last lap.
Now, Irvin doesn't hit anything. He comes down, gets slowed down, comes on across the start-finish line, finishes in 8th place, 1 lap down.
In just a moment, we will be in victory lane with Ricky Rudd as he has won his 3rd race here at the Martinsville Speedway and has done it in dramatic style here this afternoon. That when we come back to the NAPA AutoCare 500 in just a moment.
Hey, we're the McKenzie brothers, eh? And we're here to stop a heinous crime.
Yeah, they're sending Molson Canadians south of the border instead of our house where it belongs.
But we got a plan, eh?
Step out of the truck, please, sir. We offer a complimentary breakfast and 3 donuts, eh? How about a little deodorant for those long, stinky rides? Au revoir, eh?
Guys, putting it in low, eh?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm gunning it.
Like winter conditions.
Synthetic motor oil. Even at 475 degrees, nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Ricky Rudd is totally exhausted in victory lane. Dr. Jerry Punch has taken off his reporter uniform and put on the doctor uniform. He is assisting Ricky Rudd in victory lane. He was lifted out of his car. Let's take a look at the unofficial results here with the yellow arrows indicating the drivers who led at least a lap here this afternoon. There were 7 on the lead lap when the checkered flag dropped for Ricky Rudd.
How about Rich Bickle, his best run ever in 4th spot? As we look back at 16 through 30, we see Sterling Marlin will finish 18th after leading the most laps here at Martinsville this afternoon.
And all of these cars back through here had problems of one sort or another.
And a disappointing afternoon for Dale Jarrett, who finished in 42nd position here this afternoon after apparently a cam broke on the car. Here are the points. It's a 199-point advantage for Jeff Gordon. On Dale Jarrett slips 470 behind now. Wallace and Labonte are 4th and 5th. John Andretti goes to 10th position in the point standings, losing 1 spot. Bill is with Rich Bickle.
Well, and as you can imagine, a lot of people want to talk to Rich Bickle, and I'm sure you're happy to talk. Congratulations on a great day.
You man!
Obviously, an emotional day, as well as the heat. He's all right. He's all right. Hang in there, buddy. Great job, man.
Everybody to help me get here.
I get him. That's okay. We're not stopping you. Enjoy them.
So much emotion. This is winning for me. Thanks.
Wow. An emotional day. We go to Jerry Punch in Victory Lane.
Well, Ricky Rudd, folks, for you Ricky Rudd fans, he is awake and alert and smiling. He just said, hand me a tied hat. I can't get up, but I got to wear my tied hat. Congratulations, man. What an effort.
Well, I'll tell you, these guys had a heck of a race car underneath of me, and I was in trouble from about lap 5. My helmet wasn't working, really hot in the car, and got blisters on my back, on my butt, everywhere you can think of, but like Bill Engel kept me going. I said, I sure am going to enjoy. We can get this thing this win. I'll enjoy Monday in the hospital room somewhere recovering, but we got a heck of a race car. It was a good deal to win this thing today.
You almost got out of the car a couple of times. They had Hut Strickland standing by. What kept you in the race car?
Well, I think the only thing that kept me in the car, I knew I had a winning car. I knew it was a top 2 car, and it's been a long time since I had a car run like that, and it was a tough thing. I knew I should have handed a car over to somebody. But on the other side, I just felt so good to be up front again. Knew I should have had a shot at winning. I didn't want to give that win to somebody else.
Hey, congratulations. Get that mask back on here. Let's get you feeling better. Ricky Rudd laying here on the ground in Victory Lane. What an example of courage and perseverance. We have one spent athlete here in Victory Lane. Bob?
Perhaps the first time we've done a McDonald's winner's circle interview with the driver in prone position, but it is a great day for Ricky Rudd. Now we go to John Kernan.
With a very exhausted Jeff Gordon, and Jeff, hard-earned, hard-fought second-place finish for you.
Well, I tell you, that was a tough one today. I mean, we all thought Bristol was a tough one, and, this time I figured out a little bit better way to get some fluids in me, and the more cautions came out. So I had plenty of fluids. I just couldn't cool down, It was just so hot, and there at the end, didn't matter whether it was hot or not, you had to race hard, and especially when you're trying to win a championship, Mark Martin's riding your tail. I drove as hard as I could there at the end, and I tell you, it wore me out. But guys did a great job. Had great pit stops all day. We did what we needed to do. We kept that thing in the top 5 and had about a 4th or 5th place car and come home second. Got to be happy with that.
Second-place finish for Jeff Gordon, Bob.
And he's only the second driver in the modern era to record 14 straight top 5 finishes. That's the story from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where Ricky Rudd has driven to victory here this afternoon. Shop Talk is coming up next. We encourage you to stay tuned for that. We'll be at Talladega in a couple of weeks for more NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.